To go live. Move some stuff around real quick. Yeah. All right. I think we're good here. Let me know if there's any. It's been a minute since we've done a stream on the channel, so let me know if there's any problems with the stream. I think I got everything working. I think it's all good. We're live, public, all that, looking good. All right, Kraken versus Blues today. Kraken are 6-3-4 for 16 points on the season, so a pretty good start for the Kraken, but obviously coming off of a pretty, well, hopefully the worst game of the season. Hopefully the Kraken are coming off their worst game of the season against the Sharks. Now the Sharks have been winning some unlikely games, so they unfortunately the Kraken, I guess, just got the Sharks at the wrong time and then played a very, very sloppy game that allowed the Sharks to take advantage of how the Kraken were playing. For the Blues, they're coming in at, what was it, 5-8-2. So a pretty bad start to the season for the Blues. They are coming off a win, though, 3-0 shutout of a also pretty bad Buffalo Sabres team. Before that, they had lost the same night that the Kraken lost 6-1. The Blues had lost 6-1 as well. So for the Blues, things are not going especially well. So hopefully this is a game where the Kraken can get back in the win column, get 2 more points, especially with a tough Dallas matchup coming up on the second half of a back-to-back on Sunday here. So the Kraken are, yeah, they need to pick up these points where they can if they want to try and stay in this race and bank some points here early on the season for when eventually the schedule is going to get tougher late in the season. And then obviously, things not going to be much easier for the Kraken with Decord going on IR, which he's going to have him out now for a week or two. And that's, yes, far from ideal for the Kraken to have Decord now going on IR. I guess at the very least, they still had 2 more goaltenders on the, roster. They got Grubauer going tonight, and then Matt Murray will play tomorrow. But obviously, far from ideal for the Kraken to have Decord going on IR. Not great for my fantasy team either, for those that care. Heck yeah, I can watch it live. Let's go. Let's forget about that Sharks game. I would love to forget about that Sharks game. Unfortunately, the Kraken are going to have a, well, I guess fortunately or unfortunately, it's going to be harder to forget about if a week from today, when they play the Sharks again in Seattle on Saturday, yeah, a week from today, they'll play the Sharks again at home. If that doesn't go well, then it's going to be harder to forget that Sharks game. If that one goes well, then you know what? Would have been nice to win both of them, but at least you get 2 of the points there. Wait, there was a Sharks game? Ah, that's the attitude. There's a Sharks game on Saturday, a week from today. The Kraken play the Sharks, right? For the first time this season? Yeah, and they'll probably be playing without Decord, who's now been put on IR. Again, with the game before this against the Sharks, where I don't know if that's where he got injured or what happened, but he didn't look sharp in that game against the Sharks. But I don't think it would have mattered who was in net. I don't think it would have mattered if it was Decord at his best in net. He probably still only making 1, maybe 2 more saves, and since the Kraken only scored once in that game, it's probably not going to matter. Let's go blue. Boo. Well, everyone's welcome in here, but we're hoping the Blues can get a loss tonight. You know what? If it happens in overtime, that's fine. You can have 1 point. I'm fine with an overtime win. I'm even fine with a shootout win. But the Kraken need 2 points here. If they're gonna keep this, try and bank some points here. This is one of those ones you need to get the 2 points. Hi, hello, Colby. I mean, for the Blues, it's the Blues need the points even more. If the Blues are going to try and make it back to the playoffs, they certainly need the points more than the Kraken do to try and get back to, yeah, a somewhat respectable record. I love the Seahawks helmet in the back. Yeah, I like that helmet too. It took me a long time to finally pull the trigger on getting it, but it's cool to have. Plus, it's a real helmet, you know. It's very dusty. I guess I get dusted off here a little bit. I guess if I ever do Seahawks streams, see here, it's pretty tight. I have a big head, so there we go. This is how you stream a hockey game, right? That's how you stream a hockey game? No. But yeah, so the Kraken, we'll see how this one goes. Grubauer's second start of the season, second full start, third game. And then they'll get Matt Murray in the second half of a back-to-back against Dallas tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting weekend for the Kraken. And then they come back home for 3 games, come back for Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. Let me know if you can hear. I don't want the broadcast to be too loud, so if you can hear it fairly loud, I'm going to have to turn it down. But I obviously don't want to get like copyright striked or anything. But I'll try and couldn't get my thing working. Grew. Yeah, hoping for the best from Grubauer here. Let's see. So the Stars already played today. The Stars also playing a back-to-back this weekend. They managed to come back and beat the Predators 5-4. So that's what the Kraken will have coming up here tomorrow. The Stars are 8-4-3, so they've got off to a pretty good start to their season. They'll be looking ahead to the next game. But we'll get started here pretty soon. Game start obviously at 4 o'clock time, but that's actually like the start of the festivities or whatever you want to call it is at 4 o'clock. So they'll still have national anthems and all that. So I'll probably be getting started with the game here in 10 minutes or so. Let's see, who are our scoring leaders for the Blues and Kraken? Well, we know the Kraken ones. Obviously, Jordan Eberle with the 10 points, 5 goals, 5 assists. He's also leading in goals with the 5. Jaden Schwartz leading in assists with 6. For the Blues, Pius Suter is 9 points with 5 goals and 4 assists. Then we got Neighbors, got 6 goals, leading the team in goals with that's it. Yeah, all right. And then Robert Thomas leading the team in assists with 6 assists. 3 power play assists for Thomas. And the Huskies are tied with Wisconsin. That's tough. Wisconsin is not very good. Stars have so much talent. Yeah, it's a good Stars team. It's a good Stars team. That's going to be not one the Kraken are likely to win, which is just going to continue the narrative of the Kraken can't win the second half of a back-to-back. But I would say the two back-to-backs they've had so far this season, and there are plenty more opportunities. It's, I think, 13 total this season for the Kraken. Yeah, the first 2, they played the Capitals in the first one, and when the Capitals were off to a hot start to their season. They've cooled off a bit, but they were playing very well at the time the Kraken got them for that second half. And then, Dallas tomorrow will be the second one. So neither one of those are games I think I was really expecting the Kraken to win, regardless of whether it was the second half of a back-to-back or not. But yeah, they're gonna Pius Suter. Oh, did I say they're Pius Suter? I think yeah. I just saw. Hold on. Yeah, Pius Suter, number 22. Yep, on the Blues. It's like I'm not going crazy, right? There's not another Pius Suter out there. But yeah, Pius Suter's on the Blues. This offseason was so boring, I can't remember who moved to where. I mean, yeah, there wasn't, other than Marner moving to Vegas, there wasn't a ton of like big blockbustery moves. I'll get going here in just a little bit. Probably 5, 6 minutes away from puck drop. Any timetable on McCann? Not that we know of. The team is, I mean, it's hockey. It's not just the Kraken. So, but they've been pretty cagey about it. But it sounds like it could still be a few weeks. I would say McCann is week to week from what we understand right now. But all we know is that he's on IR. He's eligible to return at any point at this point. He's been on IR long enough that he could return whenever. But from what I've heard, we're still expecting kind of week to week on McCann, unfortunately. And now Decord on IR as well. It's yeah, not ideal. This has been a bad start for the Kraken as far as injuries are concerned. What's the injury? For Decord, it was upper body. For McCann, is upper body, I believe, as well. We don't know for sure, and I didn't see anything in the last game that would be an obvious injury, so it's just hard to say. Um, yeah, the ESPN app doesn't show injury status. Yeah, they don't say what it is. Okay, so they're the soonest Decord can return. Decord put on IR today. The soonest he can return would be the game against the Sharks a week from today. So we'll see. That would be the soonest Decord can return. Uh, Completely, I don't know, impossible to tell if that he's going to go or not. They originally ruled him. They said that he didn't travel with the team, and then he was put on IR after, like, a couple hours after they made the announcement that he hadn't traveled with the team. So that, I mean, that reads like they weren't really sure if they should, like, what to do with him. If it was a really bad injury, you would assume they would just put him on IR, like, right away. They would put him on IR in the last couple of days and not waited till today to put him on IR. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Find out as time goes. Hopefully, it's not too much for Decord, because that could sink the Kraken pretty quick to lose Decord, especially when you're in. I mean, I guess you look at it a couple of ways. You lose Decord at a point where you have your easiest strength of schedule month of the season. So you could look at that as you're losing Decord when you could be picking up a lot of points and banking some points. Or if you were going to lose Decord at some point, maybe this is the best time to lose it because your strength of schedule is lighter than it's going to be the rest of the season. Obviously, either way, not great to lose Decord. Boo Vegas, says Jay Free. I also agree. Boo Vegas. Good afternoon. Ready for us to come out and get this dub? I hope so. Hope so, Kevin. ESPN app has been trashed since August. Yeah, it's. I mean, it it gets the job done as far as being able to see scores of sporting events around the. But like, and if you want need detail, you want detailed stats, or you want apparently injury information, it's not the best for pretty much anything other than like just like the Gamecast feature. The Gamecast feature, I like the Gamecast feature, but aside from that, it's pretty not great. That's how I'm feeling. It's not working. Also, second that boo, Vegas. Maybe Joey just wants to teach the team a lesson for what they could be without him. My ESPN app locks up every four commercials or so. Hard to watch. I haven't tried watching anything on the ESPN app, so yeah, hard to say on that. I pretty much just look at the GameCast on the ESPN app, and that's basically it. I had ESPN Plus for a while, but then I think I got rid of it. I'm pretty sure I don't have it anymore. Yeah, so I don't get to watch as many of the non-Kraken games as I used to, but I still watch a few of them. Well, Root Sports is gone, so all Kraken games are on ESPN now. Yeah, yeah. I suppose if you're not in the Seattle area, then the ESPN app, ESPN Plus, is probably the best way to get the Kraken games. If you're in the Seattle area, then Amazon Prime is obviously works great for streaming. Or any of your like very basic TV channels. I don't even think you need. Yeah, you don't need cable anymore. Even just a basic TV connection will get you a Kraken game in Washington. If it makes any difference, some good games have been doing that to me. So what I found works is I'll go to ESPN from my Disney Plus. Okay. In Cali now? Okay, yeah. Yeah, in California you wouldn't be able to watch them on Amazon Prime, I don't think. I'm pretty sure the Amazon Prime thing is just in the like local broadcast area, but yeah, we'll see. Kraken need to pick up some points here. See, we got Blues, then Dallas. Then they come home for Columbus, Winnipeg, San Jose. So that kind of looks like you should be winning every other game because you'd expect to hopefully pick up 2 points against the Blues tonight. Then the Stars is going to be a tough one. You kind of hope to pick up 2 points against the Blue Jackets, although they're off to a decent start, so that's not a pushover team like they have been. Then the Jets is going to be a tough one. The Kraken did beat the Jets 3-0 last time, or in Winnipeg earlier this season, so definitely still possible, but it's going to be tough, especially without Decord, because we know Decord will be out for the next 4 games. And then yeah, finish off that 3 games against San Jose, which you really like to hope that the team would have extra energy coming out to try and beat that one, or to win that one. You'd really like to them have a pretty good effort. Oh, right, yeah, Riker Evans back today. Cool. You'd like to see the Kraken make up for what happened against the Sharks by winning on Saturday, pick up 2 points there. Then you get Detroit, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Islanders, a string of games that should be winnable there, but some of those teams have also been playing. I mean, Pittsburgh's off to a crazy start to the season. No one expected that. The ageless Sidney Crosby leading the league in goals. Didn't expect to see Riker tonight. Yeah, I actually didn't expect to see him either. I haven't been able to. Didn't see the news as much, but yeah, Riker's in. Looks like we're getting ready to drop the puck here at 4:08, 4:09. Has puck dropped yet? Not on the stream. It probably has in real life, but the stream is going to be like a minute or so behind. So here we go. About to drop. About to drop for me. And there we go. We are off. Maddie wins the face-off. Back up in the middle. Kako up on a line with Maddie and Schwartz. So they're putting that line back together to see if they can get some offense going. Blues have it into the Kraken end. Shot from well out is blocked early. Schwartz with it. Schwartz in. Tight angle. Shot off. Bounces out to the slot, but St. Louis is able to get to it. Maddie with a nice pass to the middle. Schwartz tried to get it back to Maddie. The Blues will force it back out into the neutral zone. Here we go. Kako back into the offensive end. He'll dump it in. He'll look to go on a change as Catton comes in. Catton alongside Stevenson, and who else is on this line? I'm sure it'll change as the game goes along, but Catton down to play with Stevenson's line, with Eberle on the other wing. So Stevenson with some sevens on either side of him. Shot from well out for Robert Thomas, misses. Eberle down the middle. He's got Catton and Schwartz with him. A shot from well out might have been blocked by Hofer or gone off the side of the net. Lindgren is able to keep it in, dump it down. Stevenson get it down behind the net. The Blues will get it out. Oh, back down behind the net. Eberle in as the rest of the line off on a change. Here's Kyrou with it through the neutral zone. Shots. Let's go, boys. Fat rebounds all night. He'd love to see it. Also got to get in front of the net to get those rebounds. Here's Ryan Winterton, fresh off his first NHL goal as the, looks like third line gets out there. right with Winterton and Marchment on either side of him. Marchment, the shot, seen by Hofer and caught. So the Kraken 3 shots here early on through just about 2 minutes of play. The Blues yet to get a shot on goal. Off to a good start. Mason Marchment in to take the face off. I'm assuming Wright got kicked out of the circle, but and that is thrown all the way back into the Kraken end for icing, and we'll go back and do it again. All right, Kraken need to also make sure they're doing a better job of not turning over the puck constantly. There's been a lot of turning over the puck over the last few games. They got away with it for a couple games, but then the Sharks kind of made them pay. Not kind of, made them pay quite a bit. Another lost face-off in the offensive end, and the Blues will get it out. Riker Evans back to get it. Gets it up to Alexiak. Chipped in. Hofer with it behind the net. Is able to pass it. And that will come back for icing. So the Blues ice it again, and we're back into the Blues end for another face-off. Muzz should have got the nod over Big Rig. He's had a good start to the season, but maybe too similar to Evans. Yeah, I mean, it's the move that makes sense. You know, Alexiak is still big and plays. He's had an all right start to the season. Oh, Larson with a big shot. Hofer able to shoulder that one down. Schwartz with a shot isn't able to get. Or that's not Schwartz. That's Cartier with the shot is not able to get on the mark. Ben Myers will dump it in. Cartier to go chase it down on the forecheck. Pops it out. The Blues are able to get to it and at least get it into the neutral zone where Ben Myers will get to it first. Get it back to Dunn as the Kraken restart the breakout. Blues able to get the puck back in transition. They'll get into the Kraken end of the ice. Dump it in. Whoa. Lindgren just had his feet taken out from under him. I don't think it was a trip, but no call. Oh, no, it is a call. Okay, they're calling a trip. And the Kraken looks like we'll go to the power play here. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure that's getting called in the playoffs, but by the letter of the law, I guess that's probably a trip. Yeah. Karts has been completely different player this year. Yeah, he has looked really. I mean, like he's still a fourth line player. I'm not going to say he's looked like he deserves to be farther up in the lineup, but he's playing that role really well. Matty with a shot. Nope, doesn't get it done. Tries to get it on, blocked in front. The Kraken off to a good start here on the power play, but it is able. Blues are able to get it cleared. Couple of pretty decent chances there. It's like a couple of blocks. I don't know if any of them made it on net, but done with the puck through neutral zone. Gets it up to Matty as they get it into the offensive end. The Blues back to it. Are not able to dump it out. Fight for it along the boards. Now Stevenson with it. Tolvin into Stevenson. Stevenson to Dunn. Dunn down to Eberle. Eberle looking around. Is not able to find a spot for it, and the Blues will get it out. They might have a short-handed shot here. Shot goes wide of Grubauer. Kraken come back out the other way. Beniers with it into the offensive end. Check down, and the Blues get it cleared again. Oh, Suter with it. He's going to get a shot here. The pass. No call there. So well defended by Maddie on that shorthanded chance. A shot goes wide or high, and that comes out. So Kraken power play had a good start, but did allow a couple of shorthanded looks there, which is something we definitely saw from that game against the Sharks. Here we go. Kraken back into it. 20 seconds left on the power play. Kakko out to right, but right can't quite handle it. Might have had a good chance there if he was able to cleanly handle that. Marchman able to get to it. 9 seconds left on the power play as Grubauer punches it up to Montour. This power play will come to an end as Montour enters the offensive end. And the Blues are back to full strength, having killed off the power play. Now through this neutral zone, they'll dump it in. 1-on-3, the Kraken are able to win it back. Winterton turns it over, shot on goal, scores. Careless turnover. Winterton just threw it right into the slot. Holloway picks it up and fires it in. Well, that sucks. Guys, the team might be bad again. Says Ryan. Yeah, that's a tough one. I will say they got off to a good start to the game. The power play did not look great, and then that's just a really bad turnover from Winterton. He just doesn't see Holloway. He's trying to cross the... He's trying to get it corner to corner in the neutral zone to hit. I don't know who it was that was up by the Kraken blue line. He's trying to start the breakout, just going corner to corner. Didn't see Holloway. Holloway just intercepts it in the high slot and fires it past Grubauer. Well, that sucks. And unfortunately for Grubauer, it is one shot, one goal. Which, I mean, that's definitely a savable shot. It's certainly far from an ideal position to be putting your goaltender in for the Kraken. I mean, that's still a goal that is mostly on Winterton, but that you still are going to need some saves on shots like that. I will say, at this rate, the Kraken have been controlling the game so far. The Kraken have been controlling the game so far. They've gotten all but that one shot on goal between the two teams. So they're still, as long as they can keep that up and not having more of those bad turnovers, then they shouldn't have a problem still winning this game. But that's you're hoping to clean up some of those details, and if you're going to have bad turnovers like that one, you got to at least limit them to the offensive end or neutral zone. That's just a terrible defensive zone turnover that leads directly to a goal. It's early. How do you even fix the power play? I mean, the power play hasn't been the problem so far. Let me look it up. I mean, they were bad last game. I mean, they're not gonna sugarcoat it. They were bad last game. But they've gotten off to a good start to the season until that game against St. Louis. And honestly, well, that power play was kind of up and down. They got a good start to that power play, but then they let up those couple of shorthanded chances, which is not obviously good. Power play percentage. The Kraken are middle of the pack. They're 20% on the power play, which is about where you want to be. It's significantly better than where the Kraken have been historically. So 20% on the power play is not bad. Obviously, you got to figure out how to not be allowing shorthanded chances, but ooh, Thomas with a good look. Grubauer got a piece of that one to make the save. Kraken, it says 0-2 and 3 are the Kraken when getting scored on first. Good time to get that first win. Looks like Grubauer got a piece of that one, so he makes his first save of the game. And the Blues win the faceoff in the Kraken end. Ooh. Alexiak with a little bit of a hold there. Got away with it. Parenko with it. A shot from well out. Seen by Grubauer. And whoa. It was along the ice. It popped up in the air, and Grubauer was able to catch it before it could get over his head and in. Let's see this again. Shot from well out. That might have gone off Alexiak in front of Grubauer. What is this hit? I don't know how that. I don't know how that popped up in the air, but it popped up in the air above Grubauer's head, and he was able to catch it. There you go. Face off. The Kraken win this one, as the Blues now have gotten up to 3 shots on goal. This has definitely started to flip to the Blues' favor. Ice tilted back towards the Kraken end now. Oh, Marchment, what are you doing? Just careless with the puck, and that's a turnover in the neutral zone, but the Kraken are still going to get in. Marchment with the puck. He's going to get it out. Montour to Lindgren. Lindgren looking down. Shot. Lots of traffic in front of the net, but it hit somebody on the way. Lindgren across, Marchment across to Lindgren. Shot Montour. Oh, rebounds out just past Winterton with the empty net to look at if that's on his tape. All right, here we go. Montour starts the breakout. Gets it up. Cartier onside. Tolvanen flubs the shot. Tolvanen back with it. Nope, not quite. Punched out. 2-on-1. Nice breakup by Dunn there to break up the 2-on-1 chance. Good defensive play from Dunn. Dunn's got it. Looks it over. Tries to get it up to Tolvanen, but is not able to. It's intercepted in the neutral zone and ends up in the Kraken bench. So we'll get a face-off in the Kraken end of the ice. Holloway just punched it up. No, nice play by Dunn. Nice play to Dunn to get in front of that pass and break it up. Oh, yeah. I mean, Hofer didn't see that, had no chance to see that shot, but it didn't get through the crowd of bodies. We got Stevenson facing off here in the Kraken end. Stevenson wins it back for Dunn. Dunn up along the boards. Catton takes a hit, but Eberle with it into the offensive end, deep down behind the net. Circles around. He still has it. Gets it up to Larson. Larson across to Dunn. Dunn with the shot rubbed out, but Stevenson gets it and then turns it over. We're trying to back pass it to Eberle. So the Blues back the other way with it into the offensive end. Pass to Parenko. Tries to get it to the net. Catton with a good defensive play to break up that pass. Larson, Stevenson. Stevenson across to Eberle. Eberle will get it on net, but it's an easy save for Hofer. Kyrou. We have a whistle for something. And And the Kraken are going to get called for too many men on the ice. I don't know what Marchment's arguing about. You just count to 6. Well, the Kraken will get a chance on the kill now. Let's see here. Oh, it's just a slow change from Stevenson. Stevenson just took too long to get back to the bench, I guess. The Blues win the faceoff to start the power play. Skates up here with it. Nope. Here you go, Matty up to challenge. Blues pass across, gets deflected on the way, down into the corner. Blues able to keep it in. Got just about the halfway. Oh! Woo! That was close. And they tip it in. Power play goal. I mean, they're just passing it around at will. The penalty kill, however, the power play I'm willing to say is not the problem. The penalty kill, on the other hand, the penalty kill is a problem. And it's 2-0 Blues with the power play goal. That might have gone off Larson, but I mean, either way. Oh boy. Yeah, he doesn't get all of it. How does that end up in? Oh, Larson tipped it in. So it was a pass to the front of the net, but it got tipped. It sounds like it went in off Larson. I didn't see it as good on the replay, but that's what the broadcast is saying, is that Larson tipped it in. All right. Not quite 10 minutes. Well, just now reaching the halfway point of the first period. The Blues up 2-0 with the power play goal. The Kraken not able to convert on their power play. So Stevenson getting back to the bench late cost the Kraken. Oh, Wright gets crunched against the boards. That's a big hit. He's all right. He's back up. Blues back in. Try to pass it. Here we go. Catton the other way, but he's got guys all around him. So the defense went on a change. Tries to feed it back up to Eberle coming into the offensive end. That's broken up, and the Blues are back out the other way. They'll dump it in as the forwards for the Blues go on off to change. Riker Evans with it. He gets it up to Stevenson. Stevenson trying to make up for the too many men call. And the Blues are able to get it out. Evans. Stevenson. And the Blues are back in to the offensive end. Shots on goal are evened up at 6, but it's 2-0 Blues with a power play goal and a wide open shot in the slot off a bad turnover in the defensive end. Skate in, shot, stopped by Grubauer. That's a pretty good look to be giving them there. The Kraken not looking great at the moment. Yeah. So I guess what I'll say about that is it does go off Larson's stick and in, but if it doesn't go off Larson's stick, it looked like it was probably going to get tipped in by a Blue right behind him anyway. So Larson trying to break up the pass so that it didn't get tipped in, and he just ends up tipping it in himself. But he threw his stick right in front of a Blues player who had his stick right in the same spot, basically. So I think that was going in either way. The penalty kill has been just terrible. How bad has the penalty kill been? Let's find out. Not there. Oh, here we go. Penalty kill. Wow, the Sabres have a 91.3% penalty kill. Oh, they're the Kraken down in 26th. Not as bad as I thought. Obviously, that'll go down a little bit now again. But 70.6% on the penalty kill, which is about 10% below where you would like to at least be. 80% is about average. Generally, you want your special teams percentages to add up to 100. So you want to be around 20% on the power play, 80% on the kill. The Kraken are there on the power play, 20% on the power play, but just 70.6% on the kill. So special teams as a whole are definitely in the red. The Ottawa Senators 65% on the kill. That's pretty bad. Canucks still bad. I feel like the Canucks have been bad on the penalty kill for like at least the last 5 years. Pretty much the entire time the Kraken have been around, the Canucks are around the bottom of the league in the penalty kill. Blue Jackets are down there. Blues and Stars, so both the Blues and Stars have worse penalty kills than the Kraken coming into this game. So you'd like the power play to try and take advantage. The Stars have both the Stars and Blues have pretty good power plays. Stars and Blues both have top 10 power plays in the league. Oh, Grubauer lost the rebound, but the Kraken are able to clean it up. Across. Lindgren, a good defensive play there to break up a pass. They did have a guy standing in front of the net pretty wide open. Kyrou to Falk. Back to Kyrou. Kyrou down along the boards. Looks for something. The Kraken defending the center of the ice, the middle of the ice pretty well. Tolvin in. Playing with fire there a bit. Blocked in front. The Kraken try and get it out. They do get it out, but it's still picked right back up by the Blues. Sorry, get it. They do not get it out of the zone. They get it out from in front of the net. Boy, the Kraken are just not able to get their puck on, or their stick on the puck. Now they finally get it out so they can get a change. Oh, I forgot to put my jersey on. Maybe that's why they're playing bad. Right? All right, Hofer out to play it. Schwartz skates past him, but he turns it over. Riker Evans in. Shot. Tipped. Schwartz down in front. Evans across. Matty Beniers. Here we go. Beniers skating around with it. Gets it across to Evans. Evans throws it between Kakko's legs. Schwartz not able to get to it, and the Blues back out. No, here we go. All right. Kraken are able to shut that down defensively. Matty up to Schwartz. The Kraken will get back out the other way. Schwartz desperately trying to keep possession of it until the Kraken can change, but is not able to, as the Blues will get it as they go back into their end to start a breakout. Here they come. Through the neutral zone, dumps it into the offensive end. Oh, Lindgren gets to it first, but takes a big hit. Back the other way. Who will get to it first? The Blues will get to it, but in on the forecheck is Ryan Winterton. Still able to get it past him back out, though. Whoa, big pass to the slot. Nice save from Grubauer. All right, here we go. This will make the difference. All right. At the 5:20 mark of the first, the Kraken with the puck in their own end behind the net. Dunn will get it up. Dunn up to Alexiak. Alexiak will get to center ice and then dump it in. Aerial dump it into the far corner. Catton. Stevenson to Montour. Montour down to... Oh, Catton with the shot. Nice little passing play there, but Catton wasn't able to lift it, so it goes off the pad of Hofer. Catton. Alexiak back to Catton. In his feet, but he gets it anyway. Skates around, back up to Alexiak. Shot on. Save. Eberle. Another shot and another save from Hofer. That was a good shift there from the Stevenson line. Larson got hit in the face by a high stick on a follow-through, and went to the locker room. So that's why we're seeing Alexiak with Dunn there. Unlucky, says Kevin. Yeah, Larson getting hit there at the follow-through, definitely not ideal. The Kraken have had a pretty rough time with injuries here to start the season, which is something I said in the season preview. I said the Kraken had. I mean, you can't predict injuries, but the Kraken had been certainly on the lucky end of not getting very many injuries over the last couple of years, and so it's one of those things that you think it'll eventually balance out. And so far, the Kraken have been definitely on the bad end of the injuries to this point. Been missing McCann now for a while. Just got Riker Evans back. Capo Caco just came back a couple games ago. And you've got, McCann, like I said, been out. Now you lose DeCord is out for at least a week. It's been a rough start to the season for the Kraken injury-wise. And unfortunately, all to pretty key players. I mean, I don't know if you want to throw Evans in the key player category, but certainly, like, McCann, Caco, and DeCord are all in that key player category, I would say. Here we go. Kraken win the faceoff. Matty to Dunn. Dunn just dumps it into the corner. Blues will get to it first, and they'll get it out, but it goes into their bench. And so we should get a faceoff in the Blues' end. 4:30 left in the first. The Kraken down 2-0 with 8 shots on goal apiece. Matty's line out there with Caco and Schwartz. So good to see that line back together. Matty kicked out, so Schwartz will go in. Not ideal. Matty's been pretty good in the face-off circle so far this year. I mean, relative to the rest of the team. Wins it back, but Dunn has to kind of skate to it and reach. Tries to dump it in. It goes off of... They're calling Dunn for interference. Now Cairo... What? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's... I mean, it's definitely on the line. Definitely on the line of what usually will get called, but that certainly is interference by how the rule's written, so... And Dunn doing a decent job of trying to disguise it, but... Blues power play. Kraken are able to get it out this time. Not sure they even got it out once in the last power play before the Blues scored. Need to kill this one off. Need to kill this one off here late in the first. And the Blues in. Here we go. Cartier with it. He'll dump it and the Kraken will go get a change. That looked a little dicey for a second, but lots of opponent power plays, yeah. This is a team that had not been going to the kill, or not been going to, not been going to the kill very much last season, and they are. That has been not been the case so far this season. Lots of penalty kill time, which has not been good because the penalty kill has not been good. Here we go. Blues working it around. Schwartz able to block a pass, but not get to the puck. Beniers forces it out, but the Blues still with possession. Blues having trouble finding much of anything, but they are able to keep hold of the puck. Kraken are blocking passes, getting in lanes, but okay, now the puck finally gets out. Kraken will get a change. 30 seconds left on the kill. Here's Holloway with it as the Blues come back through center ice with 20 seconds left on the kill. Back into the Kraken end. Looks like Evans will get to it and is able to clear it. That will do it for the Blues power play. So the Kraken able to kill that off. The Blues will pick it up with 5 seconds left on the power play behind their own net. They'll probably have a chance here to get into the offensive end as out of the box comes Vince Dunn. Ready for it are the Blues, though, as Dunn does get to the puck first. Kraken into the offensive end. Here's Wright and Winterton trying to get to it. Unable to, but kept in nicely for a second. Wright did a good job there. I think it was Wright that punched it, kept it in the zone. Kept it in the zone, but then it bounced off Winterton and back out. Yeah, so no shots on that power play for the Blues. So pretty good kill there for the Kraken. In fact, as far as relative to the season so far for the Kraken, that was about the best power play or best penalty kill they've had. Yet to get a shorthanded goal, so you can't really. Here we go. Eberle with it. He's going to dump it in as Tolvanen goes after it. Tolvanen with a tight angle shot. Goes wide. Montour will chip it back in as Tolvanen gets to it behind the net. Tries to fork it up to Dunn, but I think that's actually Myers. That not go off the Blues bench? Thought that went off the Blues bench. Well, Tolvanen back to Lindgren. Montour is going to dump it in from center ice. Hofer with it behind the net. Tolvanen tries to get to it, but Hofer is able to pass it up, and the Blues back the other way. Alexiak to it down in the corner. Done. To Beniers. Beniers through the center ice. Done. He's got an open look. Instead, we'll pass it to Marchment. Marchment off a shin. Dunn to Marchment. Marchment with a look from a tight angle. Will not take it. Pass it back to Dunn. Dunn to Marchment as they circle behind the net. Back again. They play catch. Dunn tries to get it across to Alexiak, but broken up partially. It comes out of the zone. Marchment now a nice move to get back into the offensive end. It bounces on net, and Hofer is able to scoop it up, and we'll get the face-off in St. Louis's end with 45 seconds left in the first. Here we go. Nope, Kraken won the face-off, but apparently a false start of some kind, so we'll try the face-off again. All right, Blues win the face-off this time, but the Kraken still with it. Out in front, Schwartz just misses the net. Stevenson to Eberle. That pass doesn't connect, but the Kraken keep with it. Evans, shot, Stevenson. Oh, just couldn't get it to settle in time to get the good shot off. They had a good chance there. Stevenson had a bit of an empty net to look at, but Schwartz, a nice hit on Kyrou. So the Blues will try to get something here in the final seconds of the first. 10 seconds. The Kraken just need to kill off some time here, pass it out. Montour, and then Eberle will just dump it in, and that will do it for the first. 9 shots apiece in the first period, but the Kraken fall down 2-0 off of a bad turnover from Ryan Winterton to get the scoring started. Bad defensive zone turnover, and then a power play goal for the Blues that just goes off of Larson's stick. So not an ideal first period, to say the least. Hopefully we'll see Larson in the second period. Larson also taking that stick to the face on a follow through, so no penalty came out of it, and you lost Larson, which is definitely not ideal. Cool. Well, that's not how you wanted things to start for the team. And early on here, let's see what some of these performances from some of the Kraken lines looked like in that first period. For whatever you want to put on the expecto winometer, it says 53% Blues. Kraken have had kind of one good look from in tight and a lot of not low danger chances from the perimeter. Blues have had that one really good chance in the slot and then one up near the front of the net. But not too many high danger chances in that first period. The Blues still able to score twice, though. Stevenson line. All the lines are about even. Beniers' line has been the best, as you would expect. All right, well, first intermission. Early returns are... I'm not sure a lot has changed from the last game. They still look sloppy. They're not really able to transition super clean. Offensive end, they're having a hard time getting anything going. They're getting into the offensive end. They had a couple good shifts in the offensive end, and I guess they did have a chance or two, but they couldn't get them on net. Some block shots from the Blues, but they're having a hard time getting to the net, and yeah, just can't get the puck to the net very dangerously. So gonna have to figure something out offensively. Defensively, it's been a mixed bag. I mean, you have the bad turnover from Winterton, obviously not ideal. That leads directly to a goal, and then a couple of other chances where they just let the Blues kind of work them down into the slot, and then still got pretty good shots off from inside the face-off circle. Yeah, not ideal. Thanks for joining here through the first period. Still 40 minutes to play. 40 minutes to play. The Kraken can come back in here and try and get this turned around. Maddie here talking after Yeah, some more turnovers, definitely. All right. Yeah, Maddie just saying nothing you wouldn't. Nothing, nothing groundbreaking for Maddie there. Just obviously not the start we want. He was pretty blunt saying that they got outplayed in just about every facet. That's not what he said. He kind of listed a few things off where they got outplayed, but yeah, basically got outplayed in every facet of that first period. Which I mean, they still managed to get 9 shots on goal, so they're at least generating some kind of offense. Like I pointed out with the shot locations, not I would say especially dangerous offense, but it's something. Overall, as far as expected goals are concerned, the Blues do have more expected goals, but I mean not by a lot. It's basically even. Problem is, two of them have gone in. Whew, excuse me. I mean, you can't have those shots on the that first one. That's just you got to know where everybody's at. Winterton doesn't see Holloway coming up from behind the net and just intercept in the middle and a shot right wide open in the slot. Grubauer doesn't have a great chance to respond to that shot. It's still one that you need saves on those. You're not going to expect a save on every one of those shots, but you need some of those to be saved. So like I would still put that mostly on Winterton and not Grubauer, but it's certainly a part of it. The second one, the power play goal. I mean, they just I don't think the Blues ever got. I don't think the Kraken cleared it once in that first power play. The Blues had it in the offensive end the entire time. Eventually, just pass it around pretty much at will, and then we're able to throw it out in front of the net. And Larson does kind of a last ditch effort to try and intercept the pass before it gets to the guy on the back door who's just going to tap it in, and he ends up effectively tapping it in himself. So unlucky there, but also you kind of put yourself in a spot where you needed to make that last ditch lunge to break up the pass that ends up chipping it in instead of just being in front of the net in the first place to break it up a little bit more cleanly. I don't know. I mean, the penalty kill has just been bad this season, so it's not. It's just kind of more of the same as far as that's concerned. The power play had a good start to that power play, but kind of shaky in the middle. He still allowed a couple of offensive opportunities the other way. A couple of shorthanded chances, I should say. Oh, what is it doing? No. What is going on? All right. There we go. Huh. Yeah, so Kraken actually got off to a pretty good start until that power play that they had where, like we said, up and down. Then the Blues just kind of took over from there pretty much the rest of the period until the Kraken had that one good shift right before the second Blues power play. But they did kill that one off very well. The Blues didn't get a shot on goal in the second power play, so good job at least there for the Kraken recovering after going down 2-0. But you just let the foot off the gas and a couple bad mistakes and it down 2-0. Obviously that first power play coming because of a too many men on the ice from Schwartz or not Schwartz, Stevenson, just a slow change, just kind of coasting in from the far blue line, and because it takes him too long to get back, the whoever it was that was changing for Stevenson, whoever came on the ice for Stevenson, the puck ends up in front of the bench, so he plays it instinctually before Stevenson's close enough to the bench, and that's what leads to the too many men. But you just need to get back. I mean, you just need to see more hustle from Stevenson getting back to the bench there. as far as what leads to that power play that eventually leads to the second goal. The Blues were up 4-0 against Detroit, ended up losing. This game isn't over. There is that. Yeah, there is that. No, it's definitely not over. I mean, the Kraken have come back from 3-0 down in a third period already this season. So even though this team has not shown a great ability to generate offense, they have at least been able to come back before. Yeah, so showing the giveaway here is, yeah, Holloway just goes behind the net. Winterton's trying to get up to Ben Myers. He's trying to get up to Ben Myers and just doesn't see Holloway. Jeez. Yeah, and then Holloway just goes back to where he came. We'll see when the second period starts. The Kraken have been pretty good at making adjustments between periods this season. Yeah, I would agree with that. For the most part, they've been pretty good adjusting between periods, with the exception of the game against the Sharks. So, I mean, there's been other games where it hasn't you haven't seen it, but that game against the Sharks, I don't know if they tried adjusting anything between periods, but it like the second period was okay, but it still wasn't that much better than the first, and then obviously the third was a complete disaster. So it kind of I'm not going to say that it got worse as the game went along necessarily, but your worst period was the third when you're down 3-1 already. So hopefully they can figure something out. Um, we'll see if the lines change up. Obviously, a big key to how things are going to go would be big portion of whether the Kraken are going to be able to do anything is if Larson is back. It'll definitely not help the Kraken if Larson is out for the game. Took a stick to the face, so you'd think probably at worst. I mean, well, not at worst, but it could be like he like cut lip, get some stitches, and hopefully he's back out. But we didn't see him the rest of that first period, so we'll see if he's back for the second. Oh, they're saying the Blues have the worst point differential in the NHL in the second period, so maybe the Kraken can get back in it in the second. I mean, like the second period is the one where the benches are farther away, so there could be some significance and not just happenstance that the Blues are worse in the second period. Let's see how are things going around the rest of the NHL. Let's look at some other scores here. Bruins Leafs tied at 2. Mammoth Canadians tied at 1 in the first. Bruins Leafs also tied at 2 in the first. End of first for both of those. Lightning are up 2-1 on the Capitals at the end of 1. The battle for New York City is currently Islanders up 2-0 after 1. Boy, the Rangers have been, is it, maybe they've played, maybe it's, let's see if it's happened since then, but they've been shut out 3 times at home, I think it already is. Let's see here. Let's see. Shutout. Yeah, they got 4 times. So they got shut out in the season opener against the Penguins 3-0. Then they got shut out against the Capitals 1-0. Shut out against Edmonton 2-0. Their first 3 games at home they had not scored. That is rough. Then they lose 3-1 to Minnesota, then 6-5 in overtime to the Sharks. Then they get shut out again by Carolina, so that was 4. And now they're down 2-0 to the Islanders after 1. Now, obviously, still, again, 40 minutes left in that game, but they're kind of looking at a possibility of being shut out at home for the 5th time. That is pretty bad. Yet to win at home. They are, was that 0-5-1 at home? Woof. Madison Square Garden has been friendly to its visitors so far. Let's see, and then the other game going on right now, there's a lot of games going on right now, but Sabres Hurricanes tied at 1 after 1. Games that have finished, the Devils beat the Penguins in the shootout, 2-1 there, so a 1-1 game that goes to the shootout and the Devils win that one. Senators beat the Flyers in overtime, 3-2. And the Stars come back against the Predators to win that one with 3 goals in the third to take it 5-4. So that is our around the league look. Man, it'd be nice to just go to. Can we just go play the Rangers in Madison? Like get that game now? It'd be nice. Just that's about as bad as a home start as you're gonna see. Yeah, talking about the Kraken penalty kill, which is now below 70% after will be below 70% after this game, or I should say is now below 70%. It just doesn't update until after the game. Kraken back on the bench as we get ready to start the second period. We'll get ready for the drop of the puck here pretty soon, and we'll get going in the second. Larson back out there, so that's good news. Larson back out there to start the second. All right, here we go. Maddie wins the draw. Clean back to Grubauer. Cleared around the boards. Kako chips it up, but not quite onto the tape of anyone. Larson now with it. He'll gets it up. That'll clear in for icing. Nope, never mind. They waved off icing as Hofer goes to play it. Now the Blues have it though, coming back the other way. So result is the same. The Kraken no offensive zone time to speak of there. Dunn gets taken down. Kraken get to it. Oh, here come the Blues. They'll get the first shot of the period. Blocked in front, and that I think is Robert Thomas that took that one in the face. Or high up anyway. Dunn also doubled over. That's not good. Yeah, Dunn does not look comfortable. Let's see this. Dunn kind of fell to the ice and then hit the boards awkwardly. Didn't look like he hit them super hard. Oh, it's Bro. No, it's Holloway. Yeah, that shot catches Holloway high. Dunn kind of holding his abdomen area, so maybe just like twisted weird, but still on the bench. Didn't see exactly where that puck hit Holloway. In come the Blues. Kyrou for a second had it poked off his stick, but the Blues maintained possession. Nice intercepted pass there by, I think that was Lindgren intercepting the pass in front of the Kraken net. Across to Eberle. Shot! Glove down by Hofer. Not able to control the rebound, but Blues get it back out with it anyway. Good look there for Eberle, so the Kraken generating something at least. Decent look. Shot. The Kraken are able to get it to Grubauer, so he freezes it. Here we go. Is Marchment. Yeah, Eberle shooting it from about the face-off dot, so still with a clean look, Hofer is able to glove it down, but one of the more dangerous looks the Kraken have had so far this game. Both teams with a single shot on goal so far to start the period. 10 total each way. Up in the neutral zone is Cartier with it as he chips it in. Going after it will be Tolvanen and Ben Myers. Ben Myers. Oh, Hofer. If Ben Myers had been able to get that cleanly, the Kraken had an empty net to shoot at. Oh, kept in. Here we go. Up in front. Oh, Cartier puts it wide. It's challenged. And it makes it icing, so the Kraken will get a chance for a face-off in St. Louis's end of the ice as Cartier had the puck in front of the net. This fourth line is the line that seems to generate for the Kraken when they can't get anything else going. Okay, Cartier did get it on, just put it off the far toe of Hofer. All right, it's right here for the face-off. Can't see who it is for the Blues, but Wright wins it back. Catton with it. Catton out to Dunn. Dunn the shot. Saved by Hofer. Not really sure what happened there, but Wright got his legs taken out from under him after the play. Hofer able to see that coming. All right, we get another face-off. It's Stevenson with the face-off. Oh, Eberle goes to intercept it. Side of the net. Works it up to Larson. The shot is saved by Hofer. Kept in. Across. No, couldn't get it. Marchment could not get it across to Eberle. Marchment still with it. Stevenson now. Eberle able to get it. Marchment. Shot goes wide. Larson down to Eberle. Eberle chips it out into the middle of the ice. Nobody home. And the Blues will get it back out the other way. They'll chip it in. They'll go in after it as they'll go get a change after being in the Kraken end for a bit there. Here's Dunn with it. Dunn will try and start the breakout. That goes all the way down. No icing as it was maybe touched on the way. The Blues come back through center ice. Holloway back out there after taking the puck high, so both Dunn and Holloway back out quickly after some discomfort. Blocked by Beniers. Here we go back the other way. Kakko couldn't quite get to it. Chance for a rush there, but Kako. Fowler. Kako bothering him. Montour able to get it turned over behind the net. Then bounces off a skate. Lindgren back to it behind the net. Kako. Beniers with it now through center ice. Beniers will dump it in and then go after it himself. Takes a bit of a hit. And the Blues end up with it, but a good keep there from Winterton. Coming in off the change. Dumps it in, goes in on the forecheck as the Kraken complete the change. Berkeley Catton with the steal. Right, the shot. Winterton. And the Blues will get it back down into the Kraken end. Here's Riker Evans skating with it to start the breakout. He'll dump it in from center ice into the far corner. Hofer to play it behind the net. Up along the boards. The Blues will get to it, but can't quite get it out. Now they do get it out. Wright will punch it back, though. And it's Alexiak alone in the Kraken end with the puck as he tries to start a breakout. Is not successful in doing so, and the Blues will try and start a breakout of their own as they have the puck in their end. The Kraken changing. Rimmed into the Kraken end. Evans down along the boards as it's fought for. Fourth line out there for the Kraken. Shot deflected on the way, goes wide of the net. Ben Myers. Evans turns it over. Not nearly as costly of a turnover, but still. And here's Ellie Tolvanen in. 2-on-1 chance possibly. Tolvanen tries to get it across. Broken up nicely. Just got to take that shot. Here we go. Ben Myers. Kraken 3-on-2 as that deflects out of play, and we'll get a face-off, I think, at center ice. So the Kraken, a good effort here to start the second period, but still yet to get on the scoreboard. Nope, between Marchment's legs. Larson with it now as they'll try and start the breakout. Eberle is in offside. Got in just before the puck. And we'll get a face-off just outside St. Louis's end. Face-off at center ice. So Marchment comes in to take the face-off with Stevenson being kicked out. The Blues win it back. They'll get it down into the Kraken end, in on the forecheck. It's done to it first. He gets it to Larson. Larson will eventually get it up the boards to Eberle. Eberle forks it out. Chasing it down is Stevenson, but Blues get to it first in their end. Now Larson trying to get it out of the Kraken end, but they'll start a breakout. Larson will dump it in. Hofer to play it behind his own net. Gets it up cleanly this way, and now the Blues just into the Kraken end will dump it in deep. That will come around. They'll be able to get set up here potentially. Falk has it broken up. Nice defensive play from Marchment there to get that one out. Beniers after it. Can't quite get to it as the pass is too far ahead of him. And that pass will deflect out of play. We should get a face-off. Should get a face-off outside the Kraken zone. And we get a commercial break here, so we'll pause and play. And the Huskies lost to Wisconsin. Oof. Yeah. That's a pretty tough loss for the Huskies. I'm glad I'm not a diehard Huskies fan. That'd be a frustrating one. I mean, if I'm going to cheer for a college football team, I'll cheer for the Huskies, but I didn't go there, so. All right, and we're back. Thanks everyone for joining. Feel free to like the stream if you don't mind. Just, you know, help it get out there a little bit more. But first stream on the channel in a while, so let me know if you're enjoying it. But it's been a minute. I don't know if I even had. I might have done one stream last year. It's busy, but I got a Saturday night where I'm home alone and the Kraken are playing, so it's a good time to do it. Schwartz in with the shot. That one goes wide. Kraken could be getting in here. And the Blues will get a breakout. Kraken not able to get set up. And here's a shot. Whoa, the rebound goes out to the far side, but just out of the reach of number 10, whoever that is. Another shot. Blocked that time. Grubauer with a big save on that previous one. That was a good look for the Blues. Here's Beniers. Out the other way. He'll come in. Kraken get a partial change. Beniers down behind the net for Schwartz. Schwartz checked as Tolvanen will try and get to it. Unable to. Beniers will get it. Here's Riker Evans. On the far side, he'll bring it in. The Kraken complete the change. Tolvanen. Oh, back across to Evans. We have fourth line out on the ice for the Kraken as they finally get set up in the offensive end. Shot on goal. Out in front. It's batted around. The Blues get to it. Oh, Kraken keep it in. Nice job by Alexiak to shoulder that one down before it could get across the blue line. Here we go. Cartier. Out. Tolvanen. Shot. Glove down. Nice chance for Tolvanen there. Tolvanen to the far side. Evans. Shot. Scores! I don't know. That looked like it might have gone off something in front, but it looks like it's going to be Riker Evans' goal in his first game back. Let's see how this happens. So, I mean, just great play from Cartier in that fourth line to keep the puck in. Yeah, Cartier, or looks like Evans just... Oh, no, I think that... Yeah, it looks like it might have just gotten a piece of the skate of whoever was right in front of Evans. But that fourth line, I mean, it's the Beniers line that got them into the offensive end, but the fourth line did a good job of getting actually set up for one of the first times in this, I shouldn't say in the game, but one of the first times in the period for the Kraken where they actually got set up and were able to kind of cycle the puck a little bit. Now the Blues back the other way. A shot on goal goes off the side of it, but a rush chance for the Blues and a decent look right away off the face-off. The Blues now regroup as it's the Stevenson line out on the ice. The Stevenson line that started the game with Catton and Eberle on either side, but has now become Marchment and Eberle on either side of Stevenson. They stay on side as Eberle checks up. Eberle back down for Marchment. Marchment back up for Is that done? Larson now back down. Stevenson on as they change into the offensive end. Some more pressure here from the Kraken, but can't quite cleanly keep it along the boards as Holloway will get it out. Dunn now able to get it back. We'll start the breakout back the other way. It's Catton across the blue line. Catton tripped up as he tries to go in, but I think it might have been tripped up by his own teammate there as the Kraken were trying to roll a change in front of their bench. Montour up, chipped in. Wright will go after it as Hofer plays it behind the net. Catton just out of his reach. Chipped in. Catton will now try to get it in. Oh, nice play to get that to Winterton. And offside. Kraken were off, but didn't touch the puck, so we play on. I got to get this changed here. Had action, but we got it changed. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're good. Now we got the score where it's supposed to be. Kraken back down behind the net. Schwartz! Oh, Schwartz a good look, but couldn't quite get the shot on. Beniers. Schwartz, shot, blocked in front. Losing to the Blues this season is kind of embarrassing. Losing to the Sharks 6-1 is kind of embarrassing, so we've already taken care of that. Kraken ice it, and we'll get a stoppage here as the Kraken will come back down to the Kraken end of the ice for a face-off. Kyrou, nice blocker save by Grubauer there on Kyrou. All right, here we go. With 9 minutes left here in the second, the Kraken have cut the lead in half. The Blues win the face-off in their end. Here we go. Pass down in front of the net. Chipped past. Here we go. The Kraken could get to this first. Not quite. Schwartz not able to get to it first. The Kraken had a chance there for a 2-on-1 with Schwartz and Beniers, but the puck just out of Schwartz's reach, and the Blues were able to get to it first. But now back the other way. It's Cartier in this fourth line. Cartier the shot. Blockered aside by Hofer. Cartier keeps it in as he fires it down behind the net. It'll be Ben Myers getting to it first as he forks it back behind the net. Big hit there from Cartier. Ben Myers with a hit of his own. Cartier the shot goes well wide. Larson with it up by the blue line. Down to a circling Tolvanen. Tolvanen down to Cartier across. Beniers. Oh, Tolvanen, sorry. Saw the 0. The Blues will get it out. Grubauer to play it behind the Kraken net. And it'll be done starting the breakout for the Kraken. Larson is always by his side. That does come in. Goes off a skate, so no icing as the Blues do get to it behind their net. Coming back the other way now. Dylan Holloway with it. Suter with it. Shot. Oh, bodied down by Grubauer, and the Kraken back out the other way off the rebound. Eberle tries to pass it between the legs. That's broken up. Holloway gets it back into the Kraken end, but it's Montour to it first. Montour circling behind the Kraken net. Evaluates, starts the breakout. Through center ice, gets it up to Marchment. Marchment chips it in, but it's collected by the Blues, and they'll start back the other way. Oh, a little weird bounce there that ends up going off the wall and onto the net. Grubauer, though, punches it back into the corner. All the way around to the far side, and back around it goes. The Blues just rimming the puck from one side to the other. Stevenson fights for it, but the Blues are going to get to it. Still fighting for it. And it rims back down the other way behind Grubauer. Getting to it first once again are the Blues, but now the Kraken have it. Catton to Winterton. Broken up. Back the other way. Here come the Kraken, breaking it out. Lindgren fighting for it. He will eventually get it to Montour on the far side. Taking a spill behind the net. I think that was Falk. Somehow that ends up into the offensive end, onto the stick of Winterton, and then Catton turns it over. Not sure who Catton was trying to pass that one to. Just like to see him keep hold of that puck. He's uses skill to make something happen. Shot from well out is seen all the way by Grubauer. Gloves that down, and we'll get a stoppage of play with some pushing and shoving in front of the Kraken net. Walker, the much smaller Walker, is pushing Alexiak, who just kind of smiles at him and pushes back. Karts is buzzing, and low-key a team that always gives us trouble. Yeah, I gotta say, Cartier and that fourth line have been the kind of the bright spot over these last couple to few games. Certainly, I would say that's the most consistent line. Beniers has been pretty good. Beniers has been good so far this season. They're trying to find some way to generate more offense with that line, or at least finish, maybe not offense, but trying to find a way to finish more with that line. So mixing up who's on his wings for this game. But Beniers has been pretty good. Aside from that, yeah, the fourth line has been the most consistent line for sure this season. You're not going to expect too much offense out of them, but they sure do, I would say, put in the most work, and when things are not going well for the Kraken, it does seem like it's that fourth line that is often able to be kind of the spark to turn things around, or at least the only line that's really doing something at times. And they are the line that gets the Kraken on the board. I mean, technically it's Riker Evans as a defenseman getting them on the board, but it was the fourth line that kept them in that offensive end and eventually set up that chance for Evans. They look much better than the first period. They are definitely looking better here in the second period. Both periods, Kraken got off to a good start in both periods, but the Kraken have maintained that much better here through the second. With just under 6 minutes left, it'll be nice to see them try and even things up as we go to the third at least. Thanks for joining for the stream, by the way. First stream of the season. I'm going to try to do more of these streams this year. I, again, did not do very many, if any, last year. It's kind of too busy, and we'll see if I'm able to find time to do more streams this year. It's with two little kids in the house, it can be tricky to find quiet, some time to make a stream happen without chaos surrounding. But home alone for this one, so got a good chance to stream a game for the first time in a while. Appreciate you joining. As the Kraken with the puck in center ice. Guess who? It's Ty Cartier, but that's broken up, and Cartier will draw the tripping call. So Dvorsky to the box for a trip on Cartier, and the Kraken will get their second chance on the power play against one of the very few penalty kills in the league, worse than the Kraken penalty kill. Shots this game look like without them we wouldn't have offense. Even when Freddie Gaudreau was manning that line, props to Myers for keeping that line going. Yeah, missing Freddie Gaudreau. He got off to a good start to the season, again, for a depth player. I mean, I'm not going to say that losing Freddie Gaudreau was anything near what missing some of the other guys like McCann or Kakko or now Decord was, but it's still he was off to a pretty good start there. And fourth line, Ben Myers has done a good job stepping up, as to your point. Beniers with it as the Kraken get set up in the offensive end of the power play. 30 seconds gone on it so far, but Beniers down to Eberle across. Nope, he puts it on net. Beniers looks it over as that's saved, but the Kraken maintain possession. Beniers skates into one. He'll pass it. Stevenson up to Dunn, but off to his offhand, so Dunn not able to get a shot off. Dunn looking it over to Tolvanen on the far side as Beniers bumpers, but Tolvanen will go back up to Dunn, back to Tolvanen. He'll skate this one up across now to Eberle. The shot from Dunn. Scores! Dunn's shot rebounds out to Tolvanen, and Tolvanen gets his first of the season on the rebound chance. The Kraken have tied it on the power play. A blast from Vince Dunn. Bounces out hard off of Hofer to the far side. And Tolvanen just sneaks it past the diving glove of Hofer to tie this game up. Should probably put over. So good for Tolvanen. Finally, the snake-bitten Tolvanen is on. Has gotten his season started goal scoring wise. He has had a lot of chances off of rebounds and stuff so far this season around the net. He's just seen pucks jump over his stick, just weird bounces or slightly out of his reach. He finally gets it. And now the Blues set up in the Kraken end with a response shift. Oh, that was a dangerous one. They're trying to look for Suter down in the middle of the slot as Kyrou comes in after Lindgren. Will able to push him down, but Lindgren gets it around. The Kraken up the boards the other way. It's now Kakko forking it backwards for Schwartz. Schwartz looks for some help. He'll push it back as Stevenson comes on for Beniers. And the Blues have it back in their end as Marchment tries to break up a pass in front of the net, is unable to, but the Kraken will get to it. Stevenson gets it to Dunn, looking for the breakout. Eberle the other way. Eberle shoots it off a shin right in front of him. Hofer tries to throw it up the boards. That's broken up pretty quickly, but he gets back to the net. Now set up. Larson to Marchment. Marchment goes off a body and then pushed to no man's land, but the Kraken do stay in the offensive end. Eberle in on the forecheck behind the net. Looks like Stevenson will be able to get to this. Should get it up to the boards. Nope, it's the Blues now with it, as Dunn will get to it. This Dunn-Larson pair on the ice quite a bit. Alrighty. We had to do a commercial break here with the Kraken having roared all the way back to tie this one in the second. A power play goal and a 5-on-5 goal to match what the Blues had in the first. And the Kraken have come back to tie this one at 2. Trying to find where I'm at here. Got it all sorted. All right, cool. Let's catch up here with some of these comments. Positive adjustments. One thing I will say about Coach Lambert is he's making some changes. I have been... I'm not... Maybe I won't go so far as to say very impressed, but I've definitely been impressed by Lambert so far this season. I think the way that he approached the training camp and really making this team work in training camp set them up to get this hot start to the season. And we've seen some of the attention to detail and even some of the effort kind of wane here in these last few games. But I think the hot start to the season can definitely be attributed to how he approached and had the team approach training camp. Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of adjusting between periods for the most part. Obviously, it's not always going to be perfect, and opposing teams are trying to adjust too. But um, yeah, so far I would say I've been impressed with Lambert. He's also, from a media standpoint, he's. I was kind of expecting again more another going back to kind of more of like a hack stall where you just don't get much of anything unless he's in a good mood. Um, but Lambert's been. I mean, he's not as fun, not as fun as Bilesma was, but he still gives some very good answers as far as media stuff is concerned. So yeah, I've all in all, I've definitely liked Lambert so far. As we get going here again, the Kraken had a bit for a bit in the offensive end, but now we'll try to get back in with a dump in. Beniers tries to chase it down, but the Blues are back out the other way through center ice. They'll try and jump it in, but Kakko intercepts this, and now the Kraken back the other way. Schwartz dumps it in. Beniers after it as Schwartz and Kakko will go off on a change. The Blues get to it first, and they'll come back the other way. That's flipped in. The Blues try to go get to it first. It is Alexiak who's able to get to it. He gets it to Evans. Evans up to Marchment. Marchment to Evans. Evans chips it in. On net. Pushed aside as Hofer keeps play moving. And that comes back to Alexiak in the Kraken end. Marchment has it at center ice. Passes it to Eberle. Eberle will dump it in. Hofer can't quite get to it behind the net as the Blues do still manage to get to it and come back the other way. Now a bit of a 2-on-1. Broken up. Spinning around and firing it off is Pio Suter, and Grubauer is able to freeze it with the blocker hand. Glad we were able to honor Veterans Day on Tuesday. Yep. Penalty. Let's go. Oh, we're catching up. Yeah, we're need the Kraken to win tonight. I have a 150, 1,500 bet on them. I'm going to hope that's not dollars, but hey, if you have the means. Let's go, Kraken. Let's go. Let's go. That's all I'm assuming responding to the Tolvanen goal as I try to get caught up. Oh, broken stick here as the Kraken come back the other way. We got a chance for a 2-on-1. Oh, not quite. The Blues bench doing a good job there of getting the stick back to, I think that was Falk? I don't know who that was, but a broken stick. They're able to get that back in transition and break up the 2-on-1. Another broken stick. This time it's Suter with the broken stick as he kicks it in and we'll go get a change or a stick as Ben Myers carries it for the Kraken through center ice into the offensive end. He'll dump it into the corner and go after it himself. Cartier there to offer some help, but the Blues get it up along the boards out the other way. Dumped in. This will not be icing, just out of the reach of Larson. Larson around the boards to Dunn. Dunn forking it up. Schwartz tries to get it. It does get it into the Blues end of the ice as the Kraken go off and get a change. Parenko just standing there with the puck as he waits for both teams to change. Beniers now. And that will be the end of the period. Kraken, a great second period. 14 shots on goal for the Kraken to just 4 for the Blues as the Kraken come back to tie this game at 2 going into the third. Now we can get a... Well, let's get through some of these comments here. Catch up from where from Tolvanen's goal. He's streaky, so let's hope this gets him on a heater. Speaking of of Tolvanen, let's get another one. Doesn't quite happen there for Keegan. Cart's looking really good this year. Yeah, Cartier clearly. I think Cartier knew that he was potentially on the outside looking in. I think Cartier kind of could feel that his spot as a starter was definitely in jeopardy with some of the younger guys coming up and established veterans. And he is, I mean, talk about how the work ethic that they established through training camp from Lambert really showed early on in the season. They got off to, I think, that strong start largely because of that hard work and the work ethic that was established in that preseason. And some of that has kind of it's started to wane a little bit. It's a little bit shows up less often than we saw at the start of the season. It's been kind of more off and on here lately, but Cartier and that fourth line in general, really regardless of who's been on that fourth line, but Cartier, Freddie Gaudreau when he was on that line, before he got hurt. Now Ben Myers is there. And when we've seen Ryan Winterton on that line, now, I mean, Tolvanen in this game, regardless if he was on that fourth line, but Cartier certainly leading it, has been very consistently a hard-working line for the Kraken. And just, and I talked about it midway through the period after they really kept the puck in the offensive end that led to the Riker Evans goal. That line has been, I would say, the most, as a whole line, the most consistent line for the Kraken throughout the season so far to this point. We obviously, as you'd expect to see, the Beniers line has generated a lot more offense. I think Beniers in general, I think, has also been in that realm of one of the more consistent players for the Kraken. He hasn't been getting the scoring yet. The scoring still isn't there. Just one goal on the season for Beniers so far and a handful of assists. But even though the offense hasn't been there, I've really liked Beniers' game so far to this point in the season. Aside from that, though, yeah, that fourth line with Cartier has been very impressive and exactly what you want from a fourth line. It's what we're seeing from Cartier isn't anything that I think is going to get him a bunch of extra time higher up in the lineup. Maybe end up giving him some time on a third line, but I think you're just kind of using that fourth line like a third line right now. And it, for the role that it's meant to do, Cartier is filling that role very, very well. And I think he has certainly earned himself a spot on this team as a starter for a while now. They're going to have even if, and it's a big if, even if they get fully healthy on the forward end, I don't think you can take Cartier out. Let's see, Lambert seems like the gruff type that would coach the Bad News Bears type team, so a good fit. Yeah, I think he's. I think he. I mean, I guess you guys will have to tell me more, but I think to people that don't get to see as much of the media side of him, I think he comes off as more of that kind of like closed off, like kind of lay down the law type of coach. Maybe similar to kind of how Hackstall was, or maybe like a Trotz type of, but he's not really that. He is much more open, and he's I think a lot more of a player's coach than people really think he is. Than I think maybe he comes off as. But he still demands a lot of the team. Still emphasis on work ethic, emphasis as they they show in all the Kraken commercials and stuff like that. The emphasis on this being a team that's hard to play against, regardless of whether or not they end up being good, at least being hard to play against. And for the most part, they've been that early on this season. For the most part, they were not hard to play against in the previous game against the Sharks, but for the most part, I expected more out of Mush, out of Marchment. I guess it's hard not to say that I also expected more out of Marchment, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily a signing that got me super excited. Again, it's a 1-year deal, so it's not like it's a 1-year deal. So if it doesn't work out, it's not like a Chandler Stevenson where you're stuck with it for years and years if it goes the wrong way. But yeah, he really hasn't offered a ton to the team. He had an okay start to the season. I think his first few games were pretty bad, and then he had a few good games, and now has gone back to being largely invisible, I would say. And at times, we talk about the work ethic and how much we've liked what we've seen from Ty Cartier, always hustling to pucks and all that stuff. The stuff you want to see from Marchment, hustling to pucks, laying hits, being physical, all these things we're seeing from Cartier, and a lot of it we're just not seeing from Marchment. Never mind that I never expected him. He's, kind of like a mid-20s goal scorer, or was like in the mid-20s, I think 20 plus goals at least for the last couple of seasons with the Stars, but I wasn't expecting 20 goals out of him. I think I said I was, say, around 18, but like 15 to 18 is kind of what I was thinking Marchment would end up with at the end of the season. And I mean, at this point, maybe not even that, but I wasn't expecting a ton of offense out of him, but I was expecting more effort. It just doesn't seem like he really has been is putting in as much effort as some of the other guys on the team. So it's been disappointing, I would say, for me so far for Marchment, but still lots of season for that to turn around. He's a rental. He won't. We won't re-sign him at this rate, but he does teach the young players to work and get net front. I'd like to see him work more and get net front. I mean, he like again. I agree with you. I think that's the idea is to bring in a guy that has some more sandpaper to his game, is like a bit more. I mean, he definitely his reputation is definitely one that plays into that type of team that wants to be hard to play against, and his reputation is also one that tends to go over the line a bit. I mean, pushes the playing hard a little bit and pushes the boundary on that some, but that's his reputation, is that he's makes a team harder to play against. He's gonna play the game on the line and lay some big hits, force his way to the front of the net, get in those areas and cause chaos. But I just don't feel personally. I don't feel like he's done very much of that this season. I think that's maybe not the net front part of it so much, but that's again kind of stuff we've been seeing more from Cartier than Marchment. And I'd love for him to be able to do that and set that example for Shane Wright, who's kind of started to try and do some of that himself. He's tried to be more of a net front center, but yeah, kind of set that example for some of these younger guys. Ryan Winterton even could be that maybe down the line in his career. I don't think that's really ever going to be Benir's game as a net front center. I would be shocked if that's ever Catton's game, but there's still, yeah, like, the Cartiers who could spend more time net front. Although, and at the same time, you've had Jaden Schwartz for the entire history of the team, and he is very much, I mean, for most of the history of the team, Schwartz has been the guy that most consistently gets to the front of the net, aside from maybe Yanni Gord when he was around and healthy. And that just never seemed to really rub off on very many other players. So other than I would say Shane Wright. Wright seems like he is really over kind of the back half of last season and this season so far. It seems like he's really making a concerted effort to get to the front of the net more and do some of those things you want to see. But yeah, all that to say, I have not been impressed by overall. I have not been impressed by Marchment to this point. I want to personally see Beniers between the Finns, Kakko, and Newman. Well, Newman's not even playing in this game, so yeah, Newman's played well with him. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why Newman gets the scratch in this game. He got the scratch a couple games ago, and then they brought him in for the game against the Sharks, and obviously that didn't go very well. Not necessarily for Newman particularly, but just the team in general did not show up for that game. So if the Blues win, my 12-leg parlay will hit. That is quite the parlay there. 12. What is that? What kind of payout is on a 12-leg parlay? That's got to be a crazy payout. I want to personally see Beniers between the Finns. Well, they got Kakko on one of Beniers' wings, then Schwartz on the other, which I think is. I mean, we saw that a fair amount last season. It worked, so he's a poacher, and Matty creates chances. Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. Like it would be, I wouldn't mind seeing Matty in between Newman and Kakko. We saw Newman have some success with Matty at the end of last year, so yeah, wouldn't mind seeing it. But he's just not playing in this game, so it's not going to happen today, regardless. I would imagine with a back to back, we'll see Newman tomorrow. Who steps in for? Maybe Catton. Catton's played every game so far. How many games has Catton played now? He's getting pretty close to burning a year of ELC, which we'll see if that's something the Kraken want to do. Is this game 9 for Catton? This is, yeah, this is game 9 for Catton. So we'll see. we'll see if we. This could be the last time we see Catton this year. I kind of doubt it, but could be the last of Catton for this year if the Kraken do want to try and maintain that year of ELC. The possible line there is if this is the last game for Catton, the Kraken want to try and maintain a year of ELC. Um, then you obviously scratch him for the next few games. Have him practice with the team. He can't go down to Coachella. Maybe he could go down to Coachella. But yeah, then you get him to go play World Juniors and see if he can see if you get him back down to the WHL after World Juniors. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like Catton's played well enough that it might just be best for his development to have him play more at the NHL level. Now, I don't know if playing on the fourth line is really going to do that. And maybe maybe the reason we're not seeing him on Beniers' wing for this game is that they're kind of trying to find Beniers a solid pair of guys on either side of him that they can run out there for a number of games in a row. And I mean, we saw Kako and Schwartz work really well on Beniers' wings last year. Alrighty. Let's look at some of these other scores around the NHL right now. Bunch of other games happening. The Bruins and Leafs are still in the second period. Bruins up 4-2 now after scoring twice in the first and twice in the second. Oh, look at that. The last thing that happened in that game was Morgan Geekie getting a shot on goal, but was blocked by McCabe. Bruins scoring. Geekie has 11? Is that real? Morgan Geekie has 11 goals this season. Wow. Yeah, that kind he's I don't know. He's always felt like one of the ones that got away. Who knows if it would have like worked out the same way in Seattle as it. I mean, playing with Pasternak, it's kind of that does help. Does help playing with someone like Pasternak, but yeah, so that I think that ties Geeky for the NHL lead with Cole Caulfield. Oh, Bo Horvat has 2 today as well, so he's up to 11. So Caulfield, Horvat, Geeky, and then um, Crosby and I think it was Celebrini that also had 11. So, yep. All right. Well, yeah, Geeky with 11 goals this season. Then we got the Mammoth are down 2-3 to the Canadians, the Habs. And that's at the end of the second. Also at the end of the second, 2-2 Capitals Lightning. And at the end of the second, the Rangers are still scoreless at home, down 3-0 to the Islanders. In danger of being shut out for the fifth time in fifth time. Is it fifth time? Yeah, in danger of being shut out for the fifth time in 7 home games to start the season. And the Sabres down 3-1 to Carolina. Yeah, Geeky with 11 goals. Oh, wow. Geeky had a 6-game goal streak already this season. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. What else do we got here as we get through the second intermission? I guess I should probably change over the little graphic here to say third period instead of second. There we go. All right, we got it. All right, the Kraken evened up at 2 going into the third after a nice second period to, well, as they said on the broadcast, the Blues with the worst point differential in the NHL in the second period, and the Kraken were able to take advantage to tie the game at 2 after not all around terrible, but still a somewhat mistake laden first period that cost them twice. They come back and get goals from Riker Evans in his first game back this season, off of a nice offensive zone shift from the fourth line. And then on the power play, the Kraken convert against one of the only penalty kills in the league worse than they are. They're able to convert on the power play to get a goal off of a blast from Vince Dunn that rebounds out to Ellie Tolvanen on the far side, and he gets his first just past the diving glove of Hofer. Hofer out to play it now as we get going in the third. And the Blues are out the other way, broken up partially. And here's Beniers in with some open ice, but he's going to check up, back out. Larson tries to get it into Dunn in the slot, but it's blocked midway through. Larson keeps it down. Kakko behind the net. Passes off for Beniers. Beniers up to Larson. Larson, a blast! That does not hit the mark. And the Blues will end up with it as the Kraken go off on a change. The Blues also changing. So we'll get a little bit of a stop it or a little break there as the clock keeps moving. Now the Blues, everyone has changed on the ice. The Blues chip it into the Kraken end, but Kraken get it. They get it across, but the Blues back with it in their end as we play pass across the blue lines between the two teams. Now the Blues into the offensive end. They're going to get set up a little bit here until that one goes off the stick of Shen. And now Marchment had it for a second, but now it's Robert Thomas back the other way. A bit of a 3-on-2 chance maybe for the Blues. But that pass from Thomas goes just past the stick of Kyrou, and the Kraken back with it. Marchment now out the other way. The Kraken, a bit of a broken 2-on-1 chance, but can't quite get back. That'll get dumped in, and we'll get a change. As Marchment misses the pass across. The Blues with it now. It's the right line out on the ice. That's got Winterton and Catton on either side of it here to start the third, as it was to end the second. Now Riker Evans starts the breakout up to Catton. Catton bumps it up to right as he enters the offensive end. Right, circles, and broken up. Kind of an awkward play there between Wright and Alexiak at the top of the offensive end, but Wright dumps it to Alexiak in the neutral zone. That is turned over and kind of just whacked at around back and forth between the two teams in the neutral zone, eventually dumped in by the Blues. Grubauer plays it out for Alexiak, now to Evans. Evans up to Tolvanen. Tolvanen will dump it in as the fourth line, and Ben Myers go after it, but it's a delayed offside, so Myers can't go after it, and the Blues will break out back the other way. That deflects out of play, and we'll get a face-off probably at center ice. All right, off the face-off, which was just outside the Kraken blue line. It's dumped in. Grubauer to play it. Gets it to Dunn. Dunn up to Cartier. Cartier has it poked off his stick, but Larson is able to fork it back into the neutral zone. Now the Blues come in. Dragged. Holloway has it poked off his stick, and it's the Kraken back the other way with Ben Myers. We'll dump it in and go chase it. Myers fighting for it. The Blues get it up. Dunn with it now. Fires on net. Cartier tries to find somewhere to pass it to. Didn't have a shot right next to the net, with Hofer blocking off any shooting opportunity, and Cartier couldn't find a friend to pass it to for a potential goal there, but still a good shift there from that fourth line once again as the Kraken regroup in their own end. It's the first line of Beniers, Kakko, and Schwartz into the offensive end. Beniers with the puck. A shot goes wide, deflects past Schwartz with a potential chance. And now the Blues back the other way. Bit of a rush. Shot from well out along the boards. Saved by Grubauer behind the goal. It's fought for. The Blues have it. That pass trying to find someone in the slot goes wide of the mark, and it will come back all the way down into the Blues end. Falco collected as the Kraken change. It's now Eberle, Stevenson, and Marchment out there for the Kraken with the defensive pairing of Montour and Lindgren. Stevenson now, as the Kraken get set up, dumps it down behind the net. Marchment gets to it, but now up to Stevenson. Riker Evans has it go over his stick and back out into the neutral zone. He'll collect it, but the Kraken will have to regroup. Here's Evans. Gets it to Marchment in the corner. Marchment will dump it in, but it's collected by the Blues, and that will stop that momentum as the Blues come back out the other way. It's Thomas who has it broken up for a second, but a pass out into the slot just misses the mark. Still a shot down. Shot pass to Thomas doesn't connect, and the Kraken will be able to get it back out. That'll allow a partial change here. Blues, the breakout. Now they get in. Thomas, up front. Whoa. An absolutely grade A+ opportunity. And how did that stay out? And now it doesn't. And now it's in. The Kraken can do nothing to stop defensively. The Blues getting grade A chance after grade A chance. Grubauer heroically stopping a couple of them, but it's Jordan Kyrou with the goal, and the Blues take the lead. Just an absolute defensive collapse from the Kraken. They allow Broberg with a wide open shot one-on-one with Grubauer. Grubauer makes that stop. Broberg again, a shot that does leak through Grubauer without his stick, but eventually the Kraken can't stop Kyrou from just picking up that puck, working it out front, and getting it over the prone Grubauer, who had already made a great save on Kyrou. Yeah. That's just, I mean, Grubauer left basically to fend for himself against the Blues there. Well, the Kraken will have to fight back after that third goal goes in. That one, I mean, I don't think you can put that one on Grubauer whatsoever. He's just basically left to fend for himself against the entirety of the Blues. The Blues back into the offensive end. They're set up and circling. Now a shot from a tight angle is caught by Grubauer and frozen. Here we go. Now Kakko will try and get it the other way, but gets it into the offensive end, and the Blues will be able to start that breakout back the other way. Falk is able to get one in on Grubauer on a bit of a rush, but it was that time at least well defended. Kakko, a bit of a soft hit. Beniers fighting for it down in the corner of the Blues' end. Schwartz down to Kakko behind the net. Kakko is able to get to Beniers. Beniers now with some open ice in the offensive end. Able to get it up to Lindgren. Lindgren, a shot. Goes wide. Let's see if Beniers can get to it. He can along the boards. He'll throw it down behind the net where Schwartz has it. Schwartz, little space. He'll go down to Kakko. Kakko swings it out. Shot. Caught. As Montour is able to get a pretty good look. Decent look. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, it's still got plenty of time. Plenty of time for the Kraken to at least try and tie this up. Still 13:20 left here in this third period for the Kraken to try and get this tied back up. Eberle. All right, the Kraken getting set up here. Cross, Lindgren. Shot. Goes wide. Montour down behind the net, and the Blues will get to that. Thomas. And the Kraken will get to that behind the net. Able to break up that chance from the Blues. And then Montour. Interesting play there, but he has it going through the middle of the ice. Marchment has it in his skates, so the Kraken have to regroup. Here we go, done. To Catton. Catton gets it in. Wright will go after it. Catton has it go past him. Try and go back and get it, but can't quite, so the Blues get it back out the other way. The Kraken struggling to get any offense going here almost halfway through the third. Just one shot on goal in the period for the Kraken to 5 for the Blues. Oh, that was close. Close to a good chance for the Blues, but the Kraken able to break that up in the last second. Here we go. Shot. Whoa. Playing with fire a bit there. Kind of let the Blues get in with a good opportunity. Wright will go chase it down as the Kraken roll a change. The Blues change as well. Here we go. Evans down behind the net. Goes off the official, so the Kraken will have to fight for it again. And not able to get to it. The Blues will clear it up along the boards and now get it out. Cartier gets to it first. Alexiak tries to get it in, but it bounces off a leg and back out to Cartier. Now Evans will start the breakout. And it's chipped in as the Kraken get a change, so the Blues with it from behind their own net will break out the other way with Beniers line out on the ice. Oh, Beniers has to try and stop up to get to that. Here we go. The Blues now are set up and finally broken up. Now going the other way. It's Kakko with it. Kakko up to Schwartz. Schwartz will work it to the net. Gets a shot off. Not a particularly dangerous one. It's free. It's free. Oh. I think they all thought the puck had been frozen, but it hadn't been. It was free and available. They couldn't find it, but Beniers still has it. Beniers dangling. Beniers, Schwartz. Schwartz to Dunn. Dunn, Larson. Shot, blocked. Shot, blocked again. Kakko can't get a shot off from near the net. Beniers, a chance, and the Blues will get it out. Here we go. Turn it around. Dunn back in. Gets it up to Beniers. Beniers. Let's try and freeze it on the boards so the Kraken can change. Here comes Marchment and Eberle. Marchment gets pushed down and the Blues take the puck back the other way. Thomas will try and work it around Larson, but no chance there. Oh, nice play. Marchment, a nice little pick. Almost was able to strip that and take it the other way, but here's Thomas wrapping it around. Nope. Oh, he falls over, and now the Kraken can go get it. It's Chandler Stevenson. Up for Eberle. Eberle onside. Takes a bit of a hit. Stevenson trying to find it, but can't. The Kraken, through all of this, some decent pressure, but only one more shot on goal. 2 in the period total as we have 8:40 left in this game. Marchment in his skates plays it back for Evans. Evans behind the Kraken net. Works it up. Mahura, or nope, not Mahura, obviously. Montour. Montour takes a... Oh. Montour gets hit in the eye. Looks like we've got a high stick. Kraken might be going to the power play here. I think they are. I didn't see a good look at it, but it looks like the Kraken are headed to the power play with 8:13 left. That would be a great one to score on. All right, well, the Kraken are going to have to try and figure out how to score one here. Hopefully the power play can get one going. Able to find the net with the second power play on Tolvanen's goal. It'd be great to get another power play goal here. All right. All righty, here we go. Face off one. The Kraken get set up for the power play. Dunn to Stevenson. Stevenson across to Dunn. Dunn will wind up, fires the shot. Oh, the rebound was possibly there for Eberle, but not with his stick where it was. So the Kraken keep possession here. Stevenson has it broken up. The Blues will be able to clear that. All right, Dunn. We'll drop it. Oh, Stevenson. And that one's pretty clearly just thrown back the other way. Stevenson's got Suter on his tail. Oh, Beniers just got tripped. But they're not going to... I guess we need more of a trip to allow a 5-on-3. Kraken, no 5-on-3s yet this season. Either way. Tolvanen with the puck up to Dunn. Dunn to Tolvanen. Tolvanen will skate into it. Eberle looks for a shot. Takes the tight angle shot. Doesn't work, and the Blues will clear it. Halfway through the power play, the Kraken have had some chance so far, but wasting some time as they change. 43 seconds left on the power play as Montour scoops it up from behind the Kraken net, drops it off. Here's Kakko with it now through the middle. That gets dumped in. Wright will be able to go get to it, but the Blues able to clear it. Clear it and kill some time. So with 25 seconds, the Kraken will try and regroup and get one more last push here. Here's Schwartz. Schwartz up to Wright. Wright circles the net on his backhand. Circles. Down to Marchment. Kakko. Up. Down to Marchment. Marchment tries to force it up to Beniers. Or Wright, sorry. And the power play is killed off as the Blues will not... Oh, they do get it out of the zone, but Kakko's still with it. So a kill there. That was a pretty well killed penalty by the Blues. Some couple chances early on for the Kraken, but then they just couldn't get set back up. Myers a shot, easily seen and caught by Hofer. Just one shot out of that, all of that for the Kraken. Oh, I really had the chance, but he got hit on its way to him, so he was unable to get the shot on. All right, we're getting down to it now. Got 5:45 left in this third period. The Kraken need to find a way to get one more to send this at least to overtime. Again, these are kind of 2 points the Kraken really needed to try and pick up. right. Come on, Kraken. We need a goal. I agree. Kraken have a face-off in St. Louis's end with 5:45 left to play. Beniers has the face-off, and the Blues do win that back, but oh no, it looks like the Kraken are going to be able to get to it, but they don't, and the Blues are able to chip it in. It will be the Kraken back to it first. 5:30 now. It's done up along the boards. To Evans, cross, onside is Kakko. Drops it for Beniers. Beniers back down to Kakko. Kakko fighting for it. Schwartz now fighting for it, and Beniers will try to get to it and not be successful. Wait, oh, what's happening? All right, here we go. Done. Skates into one, fires off the shot, blocked in front. Beniers fighting for it with Schwartz. Schwartz up to Dunn. Shot blocked in front. Holloway tripped up by his own player. Here comes Dunn into the offensive end. Dunn will fire it along the boards. And now the Kraken back with it. Montour will go collect that. And then Marchment just turns it over. On the Blues blue line, so all it really does is kill the offensive rush for the Kraken. Oh boy. Chance out in front for the Blues, but it doesn't amount to anything. Maybe a shot on goal. Grubauer up to the task. That was nearly a dangerous turnover there with guy entering with speed. Grubauer moves it along. Lindgren. Stevenson. Stevenson just waiting behind the net as we hit 4 minutes left. Tolvanen now with it. That should mean fourth line on the ice for the Kraken as Larson will get it up to Marchment. Marchment throws it back outside the offensive end. Another turnover as the Kraken try and get the offensive end. That shot is deflected high, played well defensively by Larson. 3:30 left. We're getting pretty close to where the Kraken will have to be thinking about pulling Grubauer to get the extra skater out there. Lindgren took a pretty big hit there a little late after getting rid of the puck, but not late enough where they're going to call it at this stage in the game. Kraken just trying to get possession in their end as we get close to 3 minutes left. And the Blues are able to get set up. A shot. Grubauer is taken down. Helmet comes off. Or helmet. Mask comes off, and we'll get a face-off in the Kraken end. Kind of unfortunate for the Kraken there, as they did have the puck going back the other way. Yeah, Suter does get pushed into him, so no goaltender interference. So the Kraken had the puck going the other way, but because Suter runs into Grubauer and takes his mask off, the puck comes back for a face-off in the Kraken end, which really does not work out in the Kraken favor. With 3 minutes left, the Blues win the face-off back. Stevenson gets it up to Evans. Evans skates in, fires off a shot. That's blocked. Marchment the shot. That goes out of play. I'll get a face-off now in St. Louis's end with 2:42 left. Let's see if this is a chance. Yep, Grubauer headed to the bench. So the Kraken will have 6 skaters out with 2:42 remaining. Face-off in St. Louis's end. Stevenson, Beniers, Eberle, Schwartz, and Montour out there. Aerial flip out, as Forsland says. Here's Dunn, the 6th skater. Well, actually, Chandler Stevenson probably the 6th skater, but aside from the point. Kraken, 2:20 left. It's Dunn starting the break, or Montour, sorry, starting the breakout. Gets it to Stevenson. Stevenson will dump it in. Hofer does get to it behind the net. He's going to fire at the empty net and miss it. Whoa. Hofer went for the goalie goal and missed it by a couple feet. Stevenson wins the faceoff back. Montour with it. Down to Stevenson. Stevenson across. Blocked out in front. The Blues will get it out. Montour to go collect it. The Kraken now under 2 minutes left to try and tie this. Beniers does get it in, but it's fought back out, and then that is wide of the mark. Dunn will go collect it. Throw it along the boards. As Matty goes to get it. Matty now will start the breakout. Matty coming the other way. Through middle ice. Center ice. Gets it to Stevenson, but that is sent back the other way again. Wide of the net, but that will be an icing, so the Kraken will get a face-off with 1:26 left in the game. We'll get a face-off in St. Louis's end. And they're going to take it to center ice, saying that it was actually deflected on the way. So face-off at center ice. I think that'll bring Grubauer back into the net. So Dunn will go to the box. The Kraken will have to get possession. Again, something that really does not work in Seattle's favor here. You'd almost rather that puck not, like, because it was deflected, they say that it actually wasn't icing, but it would have been better then just for the Kraken to be able to go get the puck and rather than have this face-off at center ice. But instead you have the face-off at center ice. And the Blues do win it, so they'll be able to kill some more time. They do get it down. Kraken fighting for it. Have possession now. Kraken the other way. Grubauer looking for it. Grubauer now heads out. Kakko. Kraken fighting for it. Suter. Catton. Tolvanen gets it in. Under a minute. Hofer will throw it up along the boards. Catton is able to get it down. Here's Marchment. Marchment around. Kakko. Looking for something. Anything. With 30 seconds left. Catton across. Tolvanen. Nothing there. Evans, the shot blocked. It's going to stay in the zone for now, but Parenko's going to not clear it. Tolvanen keeps it in. 18 seconds left, and that will clear it. That should probably do it with 14 seconds left. Evans doesn't collect it, but it is, oh, it's icing. So with 12 seconds left on the clock, the Kraken will get one more face-off to try to do something here. Is it a power play? No, it's empty net, so they got an extra guy on the ice. Although I don't know at what point you said that. No, the Kraken didn't get another power play. They got the one in the third, but weren't able to generate much after the first little push. So the Kraken will take a timeout and try to draw something up to score in 12 seconds. All right, here we go. Stevenson, you got Dunn and Montour out there defensively. Stevenson will take the face off with Eberle, Beniers, and I would imagine Schwartz as the three other forwards. All right, Stevenson needs to win this face-off. He does do that. Montour down the wall. Towards the net. Tight angle. Blocked. Scores! Scores! With once half a second left! Half a second left! Stevenson does it! Half a second and Stevenson's tied it! Wow! Chandler Stevenson with half a second left puts it, I think that was near side top corner, but let's see on the replay. Beniers gets it across. Stevenson fires off the shot. I don't know how that ends up in it, but it does. I don't think Hofer saw it with the traffic in front. With half a second left, I don't think there's any chance I don't think there's any chance the clock could run out. But we're going to get overtime. Chandler Stevenson ties it inside the final second. Maddie wants this to just hurry up. Maddie wants to get going with overtime. They'll take a look at it. They'll take an official look to make sure that the official clock did not run out before that goal goes in, but I think is it a league initiated review for something? I don't know what. Let's see what they could be looking at here. I don't know if they're looking for contact. Like, did Eberle have contact with Hofer? The only thing I can think of is the clock. I don't know what else they could possibly be looking at. That's perfectly into the near side top corner. Absolutely perfectly placed shot from Stevenson there. Bar down and in from the near side top corner. There was less than a second left on the clock that we all see, but the official clock is usually lined up with that, but the official clock is separate in case something happens. I don't know what they could possibly be looking at. Eberle was next to the net, but he was outside the crease, and I didn't see any contact. Here we go. Oh, he is inside the crease. There's no contact. Maybe with his stick. Yeah, so I think they're looking at goaltender interference here. Did Eberle touch Hofer? Eberle's skate hits Hofer's stick on the red line of the crease. That's not goaltender interference to me. If this gets called back, that is absolutely egregious. They're still looking at it. But it's goaltender interference, so even though this does not look at all like goaltender interference to me, I don't see any way that this is goaltender interference. I mean, that Hofer is already going back to the other side. That doesn't have anything to do with how that shot goes in. Because it's goaltender interference, though, we have no idea. Here we go. Stands! Call stands. Good goal. We have a tie game. Okay. I was about to be absolutely like you cannot call that goaltender interference. That is not in any world goaltender interference. Well, yeah, I mean Eberle is screening him. That's how like Eberle's screen is why Hofer doesn't see the puck, but by the time the puck's going in, Hofer's already trying to go back the other way. So it like Eberle's skate touches Hofer's stick there, but it's on the edge of the crease for one thing, and for the other thing, it doesn't impede Hofer's ability to make the save. Because honestly, if Hofer is going to make that save, the shot goes to the top corner. If Hofer is going to make that save, he has to be going the way that Eberle's pushing his stick anyway. So yeah, that's not. I don't see. I honestly don't even see why it took them that long to say the call stands, but they made the right call in the end, and we are going to overtime here. A last second goal from Chandler Stevenson sends this to overtime for the 7th time, I want to say, this season for the Kraken. We're getting extra hockey. Who knows what the officials will or will not call these days. Sometimes I wonder if they flip a coin. I mean, yeah, that's ultimately why I was feeling nervous about it, is because it didn't look like goaltender interference to me at all. And I understand that, like, to a Blues fan, that's going to sound biased, and it would be biased on their way as well. But like that doesn't look at all like goaltender interference to me. The only way that the reason I was nervous is because we have seen things that do not look like goaltender interference be called goaltender interference. We've seen things that seem like word for word, letter for letter, the definition of goaltender interference get called not goaltender interference. So, you don't know with goaltender interference, but they made the right call on this one, and now we get overtime. Heck yeah, I need want an IPA right now. IPA does sound pretty good. I got some fresh squeezed in the fridge. I love fresh squeezed. If the Kraken win this, I'll crack a fresh squeeze for while I get ready to record the R&R. Are you putting the game on? No. It would get taken down very quickly by YouTube if I actually put the game on. For copyright reasons, I can't actually be playing the game, but I can give the commentary, which is that the Kraken win the faceoff to start overtime. Montour has it behind the Kraken net. Now Eberle with it will circle away from Robert Thomas. Throws it up to Chandler Stevenson, who tied this game in the final second as he circles to Eberle. Now 2-on-2 as the Kraken go into the offensive end. Montour with it will get it across to Eberle. Eberle back across to Stevenson, who has a chance to win it, but still will have to find a shot. Blues defend it well, so Stevenson will send it back. The official getting in the way there, but Eberle's able to get it back to Stevenson as they go back and forth. Kraken stash no longer made? I have no idea. Here goes Dunn dropping it to Beniers. Beniers, a nice move, but gets it. All right, he's able to just kind of throw it back towards the Kraken end. Dunn will slowly skate over to it as Grubauer will go collect it and get it into some good space for Dunn to take it back the other way, start the breakout. A little bit mishandled there by Beniers, but he's able to reel it back in and get into the offensive end. Going back to Dunn. Dunn has it a bit poked off his stick, but the Kraken will collect it back. Here's Schwartz. Oh, Beniers runs into somebody there. Schenn and Beniers collide. No call. Schwartz fighting for it. Beniers has it. Beniers looking for something. Riker Evans now in on the as the one defenseman for the Kraken. Riker Evans, who got the first goal for the Kraken in this game, his first game back, first game of the season. Now Shane Wright out on the ice will have to take it back to Riker Evans as they'll try and get back into the offensive end. Evans dumping it for Tolvanen. Tolvanen and Evans pass it back and forth. The first two goal scorers of the second period for the Kraken. Now, Wright, in, shot, scores! The Kraken win! Shane Wright gets it through. I want to say 5-hole there on Hofer, and the Kraken win this game in overtime. Oh my goodness. Rest in peace to the guy that dropped in with the said he had a 12 leg parlay that needed the Blues to win. Sorry about that, but that is huge for the Kraken as Tolvanen and Evans will pick up the assist. For Tolvanen, it's a 3-point night, and right over the pad, under the glove, into the far side of the net, ends this one. 4-3 Kraken. He had Evans on the far side. He decides to take the shot instead, and it could not have been better placed. Let's go. Shane Wright wins it for the Kraken in overtime. How about that? What a game for the first stream of the season. What a game for the first stream of the season. It wasn't always pretty. The Kraken obviously start off with not such a great first period. It wasn't terrible. Fairly evenly played, but for the Kraken, a couple of big mistakes, a terrible turnover from Ryan Winterton leads to the first goal. And then a penalty kill that just continues to look lost more often than not, allows the Blues to pass it around until eventually a panic breakup attempt from Larson ends up pushing the puck in the net past Grubauer. The Kraken, though, in the second period, get a good 5-on-5 goal as Riker Evans picks up his first after the fourth line was able to keep an offensive zone shift going for quite a while. And then a power play goal later in the period. A blast from Vince Dunn rebounds out to the far side where Golvanen picks up his first of the season off the rebound. The Blues would open up the scoring in the third when Grubauer gets left to fend for himself against the entire Blues attack in the offensive end. Makes two heroic saves, but Kyrou eventually is able to find the net. And then in the final second of 6-on-5, with one last chance, I don't know if he had a sense of just how close to the end of the game that was, but Chandler Stevenson puts it perfectly into the top corner to send it to overtime, where the Kraken never surrender possession of the puck before Shane Wright eventually ends it with a perfect shot under the glove over the pad, and the Kraken get the 4-3 very much needed victory. Let's go, bro, said. That was good luck. GG's, says Daniel, GG's. Let's go. Right place, right time, says Jay Free. That's absolutely right. No, sorry for... So there is the unhappy. GG's, Daniel excited. Hey, GG, with the goalie interference. It was not goalie interference. That was very clearly not goalie interference. They made the right call. I'm like... I can forgive Blues fans for feeling like that is goalie interference, but I would say anybody that is not a Blues fan that looks at that will tell you that's not goaltender interference. But I can understand why you would really want to be able to tell yourself that was if you were a Blues fan. Like a thief in the night, the Kraken come in and steal that with the late goal. Like a thief in the night, says Kevin. Hold up, did Grubauer win a game? Grubauer sure does get the win in this game, and to be perfectly honest with you, he absolutely earned it. The first goal, so the three that he lets in, let's see, how if there's, for the Grubauer haters, I'm going to try and give Grubauer haters a reason to blame Grubauer on the goals. The first one he lets in is the terrible turnover by Ryan Winterton that just tape to Holloway in the slot. And like... Yeah, you know what? You probably do want a save. I mean, Decord might save that shot. You probably do want saves on a save or two on that type of shot throughout the season. You're going to need saves like that on shots like that throughout the season. So yeah, Grubauer could have saved that one. It, to me, is still very much more on Ryan Winterton to have a terrible turnover, just not see Holloway there. But, you know, it's ultimately a one-on-one left there, and Grubauer doesn't make that save. The second one... I don't think you can blame Grubauer. I don't think there's any way to blame Grubauer for that. It goes off your own teammate's stick into the net behind you, and it's just the penalty kill in front of him put up absolutely no resistance to the Blues passing the puck around until eventually they just got it to the front of the net where it happens to go off Larson's stick, but I don't know who it was for the Blues that was right behind Larson with his stick on the ice. If it doesn't go off Larson's stick, it's going off his in the net anyway. So I don't think there's any way you blame the power play goal for the Blues on Grubauer. And then the third one, I mean, maybe it would have been nice if Grubauer could have just caught the first Kyrou chance in his glove where he has to dive backwards to the post with his glove, and he gets his glove on that first chance from Kyrou, and it comes out of his glove. So yeah, maybe you want Grubauer to just close his glove at that perfect millisecond to keep the puck in it so that Kyrou can't get it back and eventually score. I mean, again, that play to me was just the Kraken defensively put up almost no effort. It all starts with Broberg getting a completely free one-on-one chance in front of Grubauer, and he makes a great save there. And then it turns into a scramble, and I mean, like, you can nitpick how a goaltender is scrambling to try and make something happen, but he still ends up making another pretty incredible save on Kyrou, trying to get it in from behind the net. And then it bounces out of his glove. Kyrou gets it back and eventually is able to throw it over him as the Kraken, again, defensively put up almost no help whatsoever for Grubauer there. So for me, I think Grubauer had, I don't know if I want to go so far as to say a fantastic night, but I think Grubauer had a very good night and definitely gave the Kraken a chance to win this. And although it took them until literally the last second, they did find a way to get it to overtime where they won it. So yeah, for Grubauer, I think if you get goaltending like that from Grubauer, then that will definitely let you rest Decord a little bit more, and you're going to need goaltending like that from either Grubauer or Murray for at least the next week, with Decord heading to IR before this game. So yeah, good night for Grubauer. What else do we have here? I'll see you on Patreon. Oh, good. Thank you for calling that out. I will get the Patreon for those that are on Patreon. I'll get the R&R here, or the R&R 3 stars post up here. You know what? This is an all caps one. Kraken R and R. 3 stars. At St. Louis. All right. 1 second. We'll get back to getting some of these comments here in just a second. Just got to get this posted here for the patrons. All right, we got that published. So let's get back to some of these comments. All right. Oh, we got some comments flowing in. Great win for the Kraken here. Would you have liked for them to just be able to stress-free win this one in regulation against a struggling Blues team? Yeah. Yeah, you really would not have to. You'd like to not have to wait until the final second to get it to overtime against the Blues, but the Kraken found a way to get the 2 points they needed to out of this game. Let's see, where was I at? Sweet comeback OT win, absolutely. What a game. Supreme victory, says Vince, absolutely. Once again, refs blow a call and a game. Pro sports officials. I don't know what call the refs blew. I think the refs did a fairly good job in this game. I mean, like, you have Beniers. Let's say I'm trying to think. Like, you have Beniers and Shen run into each other on the Blues blue line, and Shen ends up taking a little bit more of it, but they ran into each other. I don't know if there's really interference there. Would it have shocked me if they called interference? No, but I think you can call it either way. Shen ran into Beniers almost as much as Beniers ran into Shen. Just Beniers ended up keeping his feet better than Shen did, and ultimately, I don't know that led to. I don't think it didn't lead to anything. The Kraken already had the puck before that, and they kept the puck afterwards, and the goal didn't come for another 30 seconds or so after that happened. So I don't know what call you could be talking about. Again, maybe you're a Blues fan who somehow is going to galaxy brain your way into thinking that was goaltender interference on the game tying goal, but it wasn't. Hockey blunt, don't know. 0.5 seconds left with the game tire. What a game. Not in doubt for a single second. Not in doubt for a single second. Oh yeah, never was. cheap win. Okay, got some sour Blues fans that are trying to convince themselves that was goaltender interference, which it very wasn't. Like goaltender interference is, it seems like a flip of the coin every time, but at least that time, even if they did decide it with a flip of a coin, they got the call right. That was definitely not goaltender interference. Who said they had to be good? Right shot placement was chef's kiss. That was a right. Put that in the absolute perfect spot. That was a nice OT goal from Shane. It absolutely was. Yep. The officiating in this game was disgusting. Missed a tripping call uh, at the beginning and missed very clear unless you're blind. Okay, again, not goaltender interference. We got all the Blues fans coming in here trying to convince themselves it was goaltender interference. That's all right. Like, I get it. You're bitter because you lost, and it's been a very frustrating start to the season for the Blues. Came into the season thinking they could be a playoff team again, and it has been a bad start to the season. So I understand they're frustrated. I will forgive the Blues fans for not knowing what goaltender interference is, or at least trying to convince themselves that that was goaltender interference. It definitely wasn't, but again, goaltender interference. Not only does there have to be contact in the crease, which I don't think there really was, like contact a little bit between the stick and the skate on the red line, which maybe there, but again, it has to impede the goaltender's ability to make the save. And Eberle's skate, if anything, pushed Hofer's stick towards where the shot went. Hofer's going the wrong direction when his stick touches Eberle's skate. So Hofer's like, if Eberle's not there, well, if Eberle's not there, Hofer can see the shot coming. But if Eberle's a foot farther forward, Hofer's not making that save anyway because he's trying to look the wrong way around Eberle. When the shot goes into the top corner, Hofer's moving the wrong direction. So it doesn't impede his ability to make the save whatsoever. So yeah, it doesn't, not goaltender interference there. Pretty clearly not goaltender interference. You just got to read the rule book. But again, like goaltender interference, as soon as that goes to replay, I think it's a 50-50. Everybody knows that we don't know what to expect from goaltender interference. Again, the coin flipped the right way and they got the call right this time, but it could have easily gone the other way. We've seen goaltender interference be completely unpredictable for years and years now. So, in that way, it's also hard to blame fans for convincing themselves that goaltender interference is going to go the way that it should for their team because it's so incredibly vague as far as what actually ends up getting called that, yeah, it's hard to blame fans for thinking things are going to be goaltender interference when they're clearly not, because the league is not clear about what is goaltender interference the way they call the rule. He held his stick in the blue. He did not hold his stick in the blue. That's fine. Glorious. Second in the Pacific with 18 points. I don't want to admit that's I would admit it if it was goaltender interference. I would admit a bad call if I saw one. I would still be very happy. I'd be like incredibly happy that it happened if it was a bad, I would be happy that the Kraken managed to win, but I would be more than willing to admit it if they got the call wrong. They did not get the call wrong. That was not goaltender interference. Living rent free. Yeah, some Blues fans just had to. Hey, again, you know what? If you're a Blues fan, this has been about as frustrating a start to the season. Maybe not as frustrating as a Rangers fan. Let's see. Did the Rangers get shut out? Oh my! The Rangers got shut out for the 5th time at home in 7 games. 5 times shut out in Madison Square Garden in 7 games. So, for the Blues fans, if there's any of the Blues fans still in here that are convincing yourselves that was goaltender interference, so you can be frustrated, again, fair game there. But at least you're not. At least you're not the Rangers. At least you have not been shut out 5 times at home already. Imagine taking up more than half a century to win your first championship. I was happy the Blues won that one. They beat the Bruins in that game in 7. That was a great Stanley Cup, and what a run too. To be last at the start of the year, to be last in the standings, and then come out of nowhere to make the playoffs, and then make that run to the Cup final and beat the Bruins in 7. That was a great Cup final. Good for them. And obviously the Blues like made the Cup final in each of their first 2 years, maybe three. I think it was just the first 2 years, but back when the Stanley Cup was the winner of the six expansion teams versus the winner of the six original six teams. So it's not like the Blues really had much of a chance in either of those first two Cup finals. But yeah, I'm happy for them that they got that one. Hey, at least the Canucks or Sabres who still have not gotten a Cup final in over half a century, or not a Cup final, not gotten a Cup win. How many times are we going to let up a goal with less than 2 seconds left in the third? I haven't watched enough of the Blues games to know if that's been a theme, Randy. But if it is, I'm sorry for you. I know it has been a frustrating season at the start, frustrating start to the season there for the Blues. Been there, Randy. I feel for you for real. Been there. I can count 4 times in the past 50 games. Yeah, that's more than you want to be giving up goals, game time goals in the last 50 seconds. The Kraken did it already once this season, the last 2 seconds. You see apex predators such as ourselves have the luxury of toying with our prey. Then the salty seaside squadron arose from the depths to show our progress. I appreciate that the apex predator Kraken toying with the food. Yeah, we'll just pretend that that's what the Kraken were doing, was toying with the Blues before winning it. Actually, insane. You got the live reaction of this one. Yeah, I mean, for the first live game in I think over a year. It's been too long since I did one of these live ones, but for the first live one, what a game it was for the first live one in a long time. What's your opinion on that one? You couldn't have been shocked. You would have been shocked if goaltender interference was to be called, though. I mean, yeah, I would have been. I would have been surprised. Well, okay. To say I would have been surprised if they had overturned that to be goaltender interference, and again, that I think is another key there, is they had to overturn the call to goaltender interference. To say I would have been surprised if they had overturned it, I don't know if I can say that, just because again, you go into that as soon as it goes to review for goal. If I mean, they didn't say it was for goaltender interference, but clearly that is what it turns out they were looking at. I mean, again, it does really feel like a flip of the coin with goaltender interference. Like, as soon as they take more than 10 seconds, more than 5 seconds to look at it, you have no idea. You have absolutely no idea what the call is going to be. Goaltender interference is, you know, the rule book I feel like makes it's not crystal clear as far as how the rules actually written, but it's certainly a lot clearer than how it ends up getting called. It gets called incorrectly both ways and gets overturned incorrectly both ways so consistently over the course of a season that as soon as that review starts, I wasn't going to be. I don't think I could say I was going to be shocked at whatever the outcome was. I was going to be very upset and disappointed if they had overturned it, because that was not goaltender interference. But would I have been shocked? No, I wouldn't be shocked if they made a bad goaltender interference call, because they've done it so many times that it, again, feels like it's 50-50, but it almost borders on being shocking that they got it right. Crying about goaltender interference when ours literally got put on IR this morning is comical. I mean, that doesn't. Decord going to the IR has nothing really to do with the Blues, so I don't think they're thinking about that at all. And I don't know how Decord got injured, but I don't think it had anything to do with. Yeah, who knows how Decord got injured? They'll never tell us. Maybe Decord will tell us. He's pretty good at answering questions, but I wouldn't imagine he does until maybe the end of the season. I don't know. We probably never find out how Decord got hurt. This team has definitely shown some fight and some resilience. I worried that this Lambert offense wouldn't allow this team to play from behind. Yeah, that has been surprising to me. They've already come back from 3 down once this season. They come back from 2 down in this game. we saw it last season. They went from being under the last year of Hackstall, they went from being the only team the last year under Hackstall, the only team in the league to not come back from two down to win a game, to then last year under Bielsma, they had the most multi-goal comebacks to win of any team in the NHL. And then you go back to, again, a pretty unapologetically defense-first system that isn't going to make its identity generating offensive opportunities. And we've seen them struggle to generate offensive opportunities in some games this season. But yeah, I would say that has been a pleasant surprise, that they have been able to get some offense when they need it and fight back into games. Not every time, but the fact that they've been able to fight back and have a couple now multi-goal comebacks to win has been a very pleasant surprise. So, yeah, if, as long as they can play their game defensively, which I wouldn't say they did in the first period of this game and didn't do maybe at all in the game against the Sharks. If they can play their game defensively, then this ability to play from behind and come back to tie games allows you to, even if you're, get hemmed into your end for a bit and a goal just happens, a nice tip or whatever, it allows you to not be too stressed about getting hemmed into your end, even if you're playing well defensively. So you play well defensively, and even if you're playing very well defensively, you're still going to occasionally get scored on first or fall behind. But knowing that you can come back even from multiple goals down helps you be more confident when you're having to spend more time in your end of the ice, which this team might do. But yeah, what a fantastic game from the Kraken. Let me see if my food is here. If my food's here, I might call it on that one, but what a fantastic game. Oh, it is here. Okay. My food is here. It arrived 2 minutes ago. Okay. All right. Well, I am hungry. I got to eat some dinner. I'll get a couple more comments in here if you got them. So I'll go last call on comments, and then I'm going to eat some dinner and get to recording this R&R. It's going to be a fun one. It is going to be a fun R&R. But if we don't have any last call comments, thank you very much for joining for this one. It was a fun one. It was a fun one. Fun comeback win for the Kraken there. Man, I was ready to be, I wouldn't say I was ready to call the season there, but to have that, hopefully what will be the worst game of the season against the Sharks, and then Decord goes on IR, then if you come out and lose to this struggling Blues team, it would feel quite a bit like that stretch the Kraken had after getting off to a good start last season. Remember, they got off to a pretty decent start last season, and then they had that stretch of the 2 games against the Sharks and the game against the Ducks where they lost back-to-back against the Sharks and then lost one. They had 2 games versus the terrible Ducks team, 2 games against the even worse Sharks team. They lost the second one against the Ducks and lost back-to-back against the Sharks. And that was at that point, you're like, I know they're not mathematically eliminated, but that feels like the end of the season. And as it turns out, they never really managed to recover. This obviously wouldn't be quite that bad, but it would start to feel a little bit like that, where you got off to this good start to the season. You have a terrible loss to the Sharks are playing well, but to a team that you should be able to beat. And then if you come in, you lose Decord to IR, and then lose to a team that isn't playing well. It would have felt like the wheels are starting to come off, and maybe this is where things start to become unrecoverable. But the Kraken found a way. They come back from 2 down to tie it. Then they fall behind, score in that final second, and then Wright ends it in overtime. So, yeah, what a game. Looks like we don't have any final comments here. So, with that, sign off on this one. But thank you very much for joining. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button on the way out, to be appreciated, just to try and get these streams a little bit more. Hopefully I'll be streaming more this season. I think this is already more than I streamed last season. I don't know if I got a stream in last season, but I do want this to be, even last season, I want it to be more a part of the channel. It's just hard with the 2 little kids to be able to find the time and quiet house in order to do it. So we'll try and make it, if I can find a way to regularly do it. I'd love to be able to do something like away games on Wednesdays or away games on Saturdays I stream for. I don't know for sure if we'll be able to do that, but hopefully we'll at least be able to get some more streams this season, some more consistent streaming. And yeah, if this is any indication, the first stream in a long time on the channel, first game stream in a long time on the channel, and this is the game we got. Hey, maybe I should stream more often, because this was a fun one. Maybe a little bit too stressful for what this maybe should have been for the Kraken. Should have been hopefully a get right game, but they still managed to find a way to get those 2 points. So good game. We appreciate you. Love the streams. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone else that joined for this one. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you in the R&R hopefully. But until next time, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. God bless, and go Kraken.